Live.
All right, after some technical difficulties, I think we're back live. So we were in the process of asking about public hearing portion for additional appropriations. Does anybody wish to speak on their behalf as a member of the public for an additional appropriation that was on the agenda or on advertised for tonight? I think hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the public portion of the meeting, which is made by Lisenby, second by Miller. All in favor of that? Public hearing portion adjourned. The regular meeting portion now opened. I'll turn the floor over to a member of CASA to speak about the additional appropriation they've requested from the opioid restricted fund.
The additional appropriation amount was $3,393. That would enable us to meet the state offered match.
All right. And I think we talked about this before, and I had a pretty lengthy conversation with Judge Hauser, and she agreed that, you know, if the funds could be found in the opioid realm, that she would support it. And so the commissioners did so with that. Do we have a resolution from them for use of the opioid fund? So we would need one
Yes,
from
there
them,
was
right?
one, yes. Yes, there is one for the 393. That's a different one.
For the 3,393.
Is it 3,009 or 3,309?
$3,393.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
This is something else. Hold on.
Right. So I would entertain a motion to accept the additional appropriation on ordinance 2026-1 for opioid restricted fund in the amount of $3,393 to CASA for a county match.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Miller, a second by Lisenby. All in favor of that? 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pass down. Yeah, we can. All right. Next up will be Kevin from the Highway Department. Hey, Kevin, how are you tonight?
Doing good.
All right. You had talked to me about a couple of additional appropriations, one for salt. Good luck finding it, but auction proceeds and then your CDL fund, as well as maybe an encumbrance or something for some rock.
Yes, and I have one other transfer that I kind of submitted late to Jennifer. I think she has it
Okay.
wrote out.
All right.
Or not late, it's just a light item transfer.
Okay. And while we're getting paperwork ready, I would just like to take a minute and say thanks to you and your team for the work they did on our roads with this snow event. It was interesting when they called for it. It came down pretty dry, and I think threw off the timeline pretty good. But you guys stayed on it and did a good job with that.
Right, it's gone.
So
Jennifer, you have an ordinance that you want us to look at?
Yes.
Michael sign. Yeah, you guys signed that one.
Yes, you do. I don't think it makes a difference. Well, so this would be-
all right, the first one up would be out of the 1176 highway fund. Excuse me, and it is asking for $20,000 for salt or calcium chloride. And I will tell you guys that if Kevin happens to find some, it's going to be a deal where you're going to have a very short window to purchase it. So he's going to need the money on hand to be able to say, yes, I'll take whatever you can get, because right now in Indiana, there is not much salt to be had. So I would entertain a motion and support the ordinance 2026-2 for $20,000 to Kevin. So a motion made by John Lisenby, second by Miller. All in favor? 6-0 on that one. Good luck, Kevin.
Thank you.
I was
I'll
told
make it.
Kansas is where the salt is currently. Last week. So. The next one up is out of their CDL training fund on ordinance 2026-3, requesting $19,000. And it's going into unappropriated line, but What's it gonna be used for? Just so
It's just gonna pay for, really, we want it to build up as much as we can. It's just gonna pay for some training costs and test costs, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
We don't
'Cause
really
you-
have plans to use it all. It just puts it in the line item where
You guys initially, when someone takes your class there, you all pay for their,
pay for the test.
The testing and
Like our
portion.
trainer's going to some training at Purdue next week.
Okay.
We'll pay for like a hotel, his training cost out of it, stuff
Right.
like that.
Okay.
Obviously, it ain't $19,000, but we won't come back.
okay. And this is the fund that we set up last year for the highway department where they have classes. If you want to get a CDL, you go there, pay them a fee, and they put on a good class and send you through all the training to walk away with a CDL. So I would entertain a motion for the highway department to be able to have their CDL training fund. So a motion made by James Ritchie in the amount of 19,000, second by John Lisby. All in favor? 6-0 on that as well. On ordinance 2026-4, the Scott County Highway Department is asking for an additional appropriation out of the auction proceeds for building materials and supplies in the amount of $23,000. I think this is the one we talked about, doing some gutters and some things like that to your building.
Yeah, some gutters. We have oil and water separator. We still got to purchase. Just a handful of miscellaneous items. About finished up, honestly.
It's looking good down there.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I would entertain a motion to accept the additional appropriation out of their highway auction proceeds. Motion by McCoskey, second by Collins. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, 6-0. What we got next?
I'm getting there. We have the. one I'm not sure what you want to do. Go to the next one.
Kevin, I'm not sure on these next ones.
Okay.
It's out of the 1173, which is the MVH restricted for $61,000 and $61,880. You know what that's for? It's going into the highway department supervisor line, which is your pay, I think.
Yeah. That's
Well,
part of the 1176 to 1170.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start at the beginning on it real quick so we kind of get on the same page on the 1176 to 1173. So I think as we discussed in the budget hearing, the county highway was going to try to split its budget from 1176 and 1173 because the auditor's office at the end of the year has to go through and make claim adjustments. And because you have construction, reconstruction, and preservation that the state requires you to pay 50% of your budget into those line items, right? So when we submitted Form 1 to the state rejected that being in 1173. They approved the whole budget in 1176. So essentially, for allow purposes and for purposes of the auditor's office, we can put the money in 1173 and allow. But in Gateway, you're still going to run a negative in your 1176. And then it's going to look like claim adjustments at the end. I don't have a solution for that.
What is the state's advice on that?
They run it pretty much like he's saying, that they either do claim adjustments or they try to at every payroll say what goes here, goes there, goes that. And we just don't have the manpower in his office or mine to separate it out as we're going. That's why we've done the claim adjustments. That's the problems we've had in the last couple of years. But the state does run everything basically through the 1176 account.
So all 92 counties in Indiana run a negative balance in the 1176 fund.
In the 1170,
But technically, your 1173 is solving the issue because in Lao, at the end of the year, they'll know if we paid it out of 1173, it was construction, reconstruction, or preservation. So you can kind of, if you look at the budget as a whole, and then you divide it in half, and then you move it over here, and then you split it 3 more times, government act. That's where the 1173 budget comes in, and it's restricted. I assume that was done because maybe some counties or whatever went out and bought all new dump trucks and didn't spend no money on the road. So what they're saying is 50% of your whole budget has to be spent within these 3 items: construction, reconstruction, preservation. So that's what 1173 is. So they're describing it as a sub-fund. So it isn't really, it is a state recognized fund, but it isn't, I guess. So it has to be cleaned up at the end of the year with 1176. Now, this would be a good way for us to keep records.
Are we talking about, this is 2025 money?
2026.
No, it's 2026.
So this is
New budget.
money that's budgeted in 2026.
Yeah,
You want to repeal it from 76 and put it in 73.
Actually, when we did the budget, you did 1173 and 1176. But when we put it in Gateway, it just shows up in 1176.
So, but look at it like
Who
this. So
moved it all to there in Gateway?
He said the state
did?
would not accept it.
your 1173 is restricted.
Right.
So say my salary can be moved over to 1173 because I'm part of maintaining roads and bridges.
Right.
Say our bookkeeper's salary is not eligible.
Right.
LSAP has a good course you can go through, and it'll tell you these things are eligible, these things are not. I met with Kenley and Jennifer, and we went through, and I told them, this is construction, this is reconstruction, this is preservation. So they can move those things over to 1173, because I think that's what we wanted to do, so we quit showing negative balances
Right.
in Lao. Now, I think we can keep it from showing a negative balance in Lao, but you're still at the end of the year until they make those corrections. It's going to show a negative. So I still think it's an absolutely positive thing.
Right.
If you look back, I mean, I don't know how, maybe you got to do it down there, but at my previous employment, we would build, as a foreman there, we would build cards and put,
Where?
what each person done, equipment they use, and that was the sole purpose, so they could say, is this construction, reconstruction, or preservation? And then, but that was a whole team of people that did that. What's our place?
Well, I'm trying to understand, as long as it's 2026 money, we can.
We're just talking about 2026 money. We're not talking about 2025 money's done.
Mhm.
The only thing we're talking about on 2025 money is $3,600 of carryover money from Rock. That's the
So
only thing we're talking
there
about.
was 61,800 that was
Budgeted.
appropriate budgeted and 1176,530. And we're just moving it to 1173,530.
Yeah.
Which is what we're doing
And
on all.
honestly, the Form 1s that we did at budget time did show all that.
Right.
But it just, like I said, when we go into Gateway, it changes it back. So this is just making that paper trail that you asked for that will show where we put things.
So if you look at it, it's the whole budget in 1176. You're just busting it up and then splitting it 3 more times.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'll talk to the SBOA too and the DOT
So it's not-
about how to do that, because I know other counties do not, I mean, I've not seen another county have that issue where they're not accepting it. So is it because in the restricted fund, we didn't break out or give enough? You're saying that other places you worked, you've had enough people to give the descriptions and stuff. Is it because they couldn't tell from the restricted budget that we gave whether those things actually fit in the buckets that they're supposed to?
Yeah, so I can't really dive into auditor's position of it, but I can dive into what is qualified to go to those funds.
Right. But I'm just saying, do we know why they said, no, we can't do that in 1173? Because we didn't have enough.
I think it's supposed to be done as you go so that it shows that it was actually done that way. They don't want you budgeting ahead on it.
All right, I'll get an answer on it then.
You want to do? You want to hold on to it?
No, I
So,
think as long as it's being repealed from the 2026 budget and appropriated to the 2026 budget, I think you're good.
so here's what I would request of the council as of now. As of right now, on my budget, if I pull it up in Lao, were appropriated in 1176, just like we always have been in the past. Leave the money in there until we get confirmed, because we can't be like, oh, we got 62,000 over here, 1173, and we start paying bills there's no money showing negative, when in reality the money's in 1176.
That's what's worrying me is.
We're making
But that's
things
what you're,
way
but this is
too
what this
hard.
ordinance is
Yeah.
asking,
Way too
is
hard.
to repeal it from 76 and put it in 73.
Mhm.
But you're saying, no, don't do that.
Here's what I'm saying.
Well, he's saying let's get a solid answer on how this is supposed
Yeah,
to be
leave it in
done.
1176, because it ain't gonna hurt anything. Worst case scenario, we come back here and we say, we need to do all these claim adjustments to put it over to 1173, because that is a construction, preservation, or reconstruction. And those things I can help the auditor office with. I can tell you, just in the years gone past, you know, they would be like trying to figure out, hey, what's construction, what's reconstruction, what's preservation. I don't know that preservation was ever even heard of until then, so I'm not sure how that all went down for the last 20 some odd years. Who knows? But
So you're asking us to hold off on the ordinance.
I'm just asking you, we either need it right or we don't, because I can't have it in between, and then my bookkeeper goes to pay a bill, and then she's got to deal with Mandy. She needs to know what is going to come out,
Which
because it's not really a hard budget. I mean, it's just kind of cut and dry. It's either there or it ain't. But we just need to know what.
So do you guys want to just table these three until we can get some solid
I move
answers?
we table it. I second that.
So a motion by Collins to table the other three additional appropriations, or the moving from 1176 to 1173, seconded by Miller. All in favor? 6-0. So we're going to
So
hold on to those.
and I just want to clarify where we're at. That additional, that's what we want to call it, because it's not.
Right.
It may be a reduction in appropriation and a reappropriation over here in 1173, but it's not asking for any more money. Our money was in 1176 was approved by the state. It said, yes, you can have this money, but you can't put it over here. It has to be adjusted there. That gets into the auditor's office. I can't go down that road.
Right.
I can tell you what construction, reconstruction, and preservation is. And I can also tell you that when it says appropriation zeros in my budget, I can't pay out of that line. So we either got to get, and this is the time, I got claims, we got to get it.
So right now it's all in 1176?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll just use,
I would like for her to leave it there. And
use that.
if we
for
get
now.
it fixed, let's come back. I'll sit and go, this is preservation, this is,
Right.
I know it off the top of my head. And we can flip right through it and get it sorted out. But I can't
Okay.
have it in between.
No, I agree.
That's where I'm at.
I understand that.
I'll get a good answer, but I don't
Yeah.
think claim adjustments have been used properly. Claim adjustments should.
And
be-
I can't,
Oops, there was a mistake in a line, not, I gotta move this between funds.
you might
have
be
to do
100%
it,
correct. I can't get into that end of
We have to
as I
say,
know.
okay, we
But-
don't need it appropriated here anymore. Now we need it appropriated there. So I want to make sure.
But I know
we
I can't have it in
answer.
two spots.
Right,
That-
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to pull a
And I
little
don't
bit
think
over here
that's
until
what,
we get
that's
it right.
not what this was asking. This was asking that the original money that was put in 1176B said no appropriation was made basically, and then it was appropriated at 1173 instead. So it's really not moving money. It's not doing anything other than saying the appropriation we made now
No,
in
it's been,
76 is not there.
that money is budgeted in 1176.
Right, and that's what she's asking for. She would, I think the way I read the ordinance is you're asking that money that was budgeted in 1176 to be taken, basically saying, no, it wasn't budgeted, and budgeting it out of 1173 instead. Which it was probably done in the beginning from what you're saying.
We're going to
Stay with
reduce
it.
it out of 1176 and move it over to 1173. So it's not,
Correct.
I know this additional work wears me out because it's
Right.
not an addition.
Right.
If anything, it's unappropriated out of one line item, put it in another line item. But it sounds like you're asking for additional when you're asking for the same money that's in the same bucket.
Will you get us a legal answer on what we need to do, and we'll revisit that down the road?
I will.
And then you have something for Rock for
Yes.
Kevin?
And that's just an encumbrance from 2025 into 2026.
I have a transfer.
I've got two transfers here. Let's see.
I have a signpost from restricted. But I didn't see that one that you sent out.
Do we have, boy, I'm not seeing a Roth additional. Do we have that one?
I got it. If you,
You got, okay.
well, I got what you sent me.
Then I've got two
I got
transfers.
the invoice. But
Well, that's what, I've got the invoice. I don't know if I've got the additional.
I can't do nothing with an invoice. That's the commissioner board.
Yeah. Well, it's an encumbrance, so it's carryover, you know. This additional work,
Not really true, inaccurate.
is budgeted money carried over to 26. Picked up rock in December, paid for it.
You're doing better than me. I get the bill before the truck gets back to the shop. Heidelberg's emailing the bills now. You cross the scale and they shoot you the
I
bill.
shoot it to you. She's working on that. You want to look at this?
No.
Yeah, we have,
I have one more.
you want to send me the
transfer.
transfer
All right.
resolution?
Yeah, they're down there.
Is that, you just have one transfer?
Yes.
There's
The
two.
Severity materials to striping, or no?
Well, two, sorry. I thought we'd done that one, but you're right.
What resolution number are we on?
3.
All right, so we are on resolution 2026-3, and this is a transfer of $983 from repair and building maintenance in 1173 to equipment purchase. What are you buying, Kevin? Just in case you might.
That is, no, you're good. That is the line item that we had for equipment purchase. We paid off the mower that we had and we bought a truck and it were $983 for the difference. So we're going to pull it out of equipment repair and put it into that line item. Is what, 1176-35001-000533.
533 on the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're at like items. So,
Gotcha. So I would entertain a motion on resolution 2026-3. Motion made by Collins, a second by Lisenby. All in favor? 6-0. Next up is resolution 2026-4, and it is a transfer of appropriations between the budget lines in the amount of $20,000 from contractual striping to signs and posts. So I would entertain a motion to accept his
I'll
transfer
make
to
that
sign
motion.
and post. Miller's made a motion to accept the transfer of $20,000. Any second? Second by Lisenby. All in favor of that transfer? 6. All right.
Kevin, I think I've missed the rock one. I'm not even seeing that I had it advertised.
okay, that's, and that's, remember, that's an encumbrance. So,
Oh, it was an encumbrance. Okay, I did not advertise it then.
yeah. I don't
And he had the money in the line in 25 and he paid for it in 25, picked it up in 25.
Yes.
Picked it up 25.
Yeah, got the bill in 26.
Yeah. There you go.
I still like the paper trail, but
So-
I'll make an exception this time. I think we probably need to come
If
up
you
with
want
a
to do, and I was
resolution.
gonna say, I think.
A
I had
resolution
it-
for encumbrance or something like that.
Okay, if you want to make something like that.
I will for in the future,
Um,
but I think tonight, as long
okay.
as we have it on,
And I was gonna say, now that I remember, I printed that off, but I don't think I have it with me.
that's fine.
So on record, you just want me to accept a motion for an encumbrance of how much money?
I got it. $3,675.50.
From which line and which month, do you know?
One more time, 3,000.
Sorry?
I do. $3,675.50.
36,750. And you say you have the lines
Yeah.
or names of them at least?
Yeah, it's 1176-23-100 in Stone Line.
All right, so out of the 1176 fund, I would entertain a motion to accept the encumbrance of $3,675.50 from the 2025 year into the 2026 year so that he can pay for material that was picked up then. Motion made in that manner by Collins, seconded by Miller. All in favor of that? 6-0. Good there. All right. Sorry about all that craziness, Kevin.
I think we made it. Like I said, the only thing I like is to
Get it
really
right.
communicate this 1176 and 1173.
Yeah, we'll get a solid
I might
answer
have
on
questions
that.
for you, so I might call you later on.
Yeah,
but I want
just,
to make sure we
Just let me know.
are doing.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I went through and LTAP puts on a great training that tells you what's eligible and what isn't eligible. And, you know,
I'm more worried about the DLGF being able to put it in the right budgets. I know when you look at Gateway, it's not lumped in at like 1173 and 1176. It's lumped under like 704 Highway or something.
yeah.
So they lump it a little differently, but we have those funds. We need to make sure we're
I mean, I felt like the
Doing that.
1173 is a great way to keep it organized.
right.
But yeah, from there, I'm not sure.
Well,
And my understanding is most counties do that. So I want to figure out how they do that and what we
Yeah.
need to do to
not run negative lines all
not
year.
run negative lines, be able to do it correctly, be able to have the paperwork that shows we did it correctly, and it still be as easy as possible for the auditor's office to administer. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I agree. The only thing I'd like to express is we got to know what's there and what's not there.
Yeah, no, I
We
agree.
move quick and the year moves quick.
Thank
I
you, Kevin.
appreciate it.
I
Thank you very
appreciate
much, Kevin.
Thanks. Coach.
Next up is the prosecutor's office, and Prosecutor Owens couldn't be here tonight, so he sent the Chief Deputy Prosecutor, Amanda Harrell. Thank you for being here, ma'am.
Thank you all for having me. It's my understanding that Chris has spoken to some of you
Yes.
about the Axon program previously, and I just had a little bit further information to provide to you. The cost of this is being paid for this year from the prosecutor-only resources. And with respect to this year, we were able to do this, might not be able to do it in the future, but it came from a few different places. There had been a relatively large seizure, forfeiture, estate forfeiture that happened this past year from an investigation that occurred on the interstate involving a rental vehicle. And as well, so some of the funds were used from that, as well as the prosecutor infraction deferral fund and the prosecutor pretrial diversion fund. And going forward in the future, we never really know how, from year to year, how much is going to be in any of those funds or either of those funds. So with respect to that, just being upfront, as we said, this year it was paid for in full by the prosecutor's office from their funds. But going forward, Mr. Owens will be coming in the future, next year and possibly the years to come, to be asking for it to be included as part of the budget coming from the general funds to be paid for. So we just wanted to be clear on that, hey, we took care of it up front this year, but this is a valuable tool, a valuable resource for our office, and is something that we forecast is going to be needed in the future. As we talked about, the Axon, the software to view camera footage, we in no way control law enforcement agencies or entities. But in the event that they do happen to go to using the Axon, the body camera footage, that's something that will make it much easier for our office to obtain the body camera footage from their investigations. It's also something that we can use. It's a tool that we will utilize to help in our everyday, day-to-day complying with our discovery requirements. We can go in, we can get the police reports, we can look at their pictures, their videos, everything that's been uploaded. We can make appropriate redactions where, it's required by court. However, us going in, making those redactions and being able to access those things, we are in no way are we changing the original documents, original things. But it would allow us to share in discovery, to comply with our discovery requirements to Defense Counsel and things of that nature. As I said, it's a tool. It does not replace a human being. It's something that would assist us, but it would not be anything that we rely on this instead of relying on a human. It's just something that goes hand in hand to help us do our jobs more efficiently.
You guys get body cam footage now. Our local agencies don't use it, but the state police do, and I think
Correct.
conservation do.
Yes.
And then Chris had said something about, like, if a local agency sent you a video, it would also look at that type of media sent to you and redact anything that it can find. in
Yes,
there.
that will help with that, and as well as, I apologize, I lost my
No,
train
you're
of thought
good.
there.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, it will help with those things as well as it will be able to transcribe things. There will be transcription services. So anytime you're sitting there watching a, however long video, that's certainly going to help us to understand, hey, this speaker, this player said this or that. Sometimes I know, I'm going back reviewing something multiple times, like trying to catch exactly what was said. And so I think that's just something that will assist us in our everyday job that we need to do. It'll help us with trial preparation going forward, building stronger, better cases. So
And is this, I know I've got all the appropriations for it. So it's 21,000 a year for this, right?
yes, and as far as we know, that is going to be the price for the next 10 years.
10 years.
So that is something that Mr. Owens did speak with the commissioners prior to entering any sort of contract. He made sure he went by the book, did things appropriately, did not sign anything before having that commissioner approval. But the IPAC, Indiana Prosecuting Attorneys Council, they had been in communication with Axon and were able to I think, statewide for agencies that were interested in entering into that sort of contract were able to lock in a discounted price. So like I said, going forward for the next 10 years, this is what we expect the price to be.
And you can opt out of that contract too, can't you?
I'm sorry.
You can opt out of that contract too, can't you?
Do you have the ability to
Ability
opt
to,
out
yeah,
if you
opt
don't want? So it's technically a year-to-year contract, but the price stays the same for up to 10 years, my understanding.
I believe so, but
That's-
I don't want to say 100% yes, but
That's what we
I believe that is
Yeah.
correct.
And if the big IF word,
Mhm.
a local agency decided to go to body cams, you guys would already with this be set up for what you need. There would be no more additional for you all, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Alrighty. So with that, there are 3 different appropriations from the funds that she mentioned. One is pretrial diversion in the amount of 10,000. Then we'll talk about prosecutor infraction deferral for $1,702. And the last is a 10,000 amount out of that law enforcement fund, which is the forfeiture that they had. So the total for these would be $21,702 for a year. So I would either entertain a motion for 5, 6, and 7, or we can do them individually, however you guys would prefer. So you want to make a motion for
Motion for 5, 6, and 7.
ordinance
5.
2026, number 5, 6, and 7 in the total amount of $21,702 by John Lisabee. Second by James Ritchie. All in favor of those? 6-0. I think whether we like it or not, the body cams are probably coming our way sooner or later.
I would agree.
Be a
Thank-
matter of figure out how to pay for it. But I thank you for being here and
Thank
answering
you.
our questions.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, next up, I'd put the regional sewer district on here. If you guys want to talk, you're welcome to. The biggest thing I had was one of the customers called me this week and they were rather upset that they were having an issue with some billing and they couldn't get a hold of anyone in the office. So I think I got through that. I talked to your all's attorney and got some phone numbers, and Jennifer helped with some phone numbers to their, do you guys hold like regular business hours or? how
Yeah,
does that
everything's
work?
posted on the website.
Website? Okay. Alrighty. And then, I had requested, just because this board oversees all of your all's board, if you have like the 2025 financials, I would love to take a look at it and just see kind of how we stand there and that we're in good shape financially.
We've requested those, and our accountant is gathering those for us.
Yeah.
As soon as we receive them, we'll pass them to the council.
Fair enough. And
I'd like to back up, if I could,
yeah,
to
absolutely.
the deal with the customer. After I talked to him, I personally talked to him, and he said that he had never got a hold of anybody, didn't know who to call to get a hold of us, to question a bill and what the bill was. Let's just talk about that for just a minute. His normal rates were around $78 to $80 a month for sewer usage. Based on what? Water consumption. What happened is at one point in that last month, his meter showed that he'd used 18,000 gallons of water, which increased sewer rates. So he was upset on that. And what we determined is I said, let's just get down to the end of this and talk to the lady that Midwest was the controller for Midwest. She said, we called the city. They thought that we had come to an agreement about an adjustment on their bill. And so then I followed up and called the city. She says, there's been no change in their bill. So I told the lady from Washington, as soon as the bill was adjusted by the city for water consumption, then our bill would be adjusted by the sewer district.
Okay. So I think they said something like they got a $4,000 bill for a month or something, which is obviously why I would be upset too. If it
Yeah,
was
if you
only
fill two
70
swimming pools up, you can
70 or
you can
80.
usually get some kind of a bill like that.
So, all righty. Well, as long as you guys are working through it, that was, like I said, the only reason it was on our agenda was to discuss making sure that we had, if we have oversight of that board, I want to make sure that the people who are
Yeah,
on there in
everything,
service has a way to contact you all.
We're very transparent on our board, and one thing that another thing being about transparent is I was here a month or two ago and got reappointed, and we forgot to send Mike Brown in. So I don't know if you can do any action tonight, but if not, we can do it for the next meeting on the agenda.
He doesn't end till the end of the year, right?
No, he ended at the end of 25.
Well, what
It
Well,
all
you're-
got confused
what
there.
your attorney sent me showed him and Lori December of 26.
It was a mistake in the attorney's office.
Oh.
It should have been.
All right, well, we can put it on the agenda for the March meeting if you want and see if we
I
can.
mean, can you not go ahead and just approve him tonight?
I mean, I would like, for me, my vote would be to table it just because I'd like to make sure that, he would like to stay there and there's nobody else interested. I would love at some point to get somebody with a sewer license on your all's board because none of you currently hold a wastewater license on the.
Well, our person that does the maintenance, Jason Combs, is a certified
That,
wastewater treatment.
is he an employee or a contractor?
He's an independent contractor.
Contractor. So that's just my vote, but I'll put it to whoever else. You want to do it tonight? You want to?
I guess it's not a surprise. Mike's been on the board for 2 years, so it's not like he's a newbie coming in.
Sure. No, like I said, I followed up with them whenever we did yours, and that was the last I'd heard from your attorney was those dates given to me, so.
I move we go ahead and vote him on the board.
I agree with that.
Okay. So you want to make a motion to put him
I
on the
make a
board?
motion that we vote for Mike Brown to be on the sewer board, regional sewer.
So motion by John Collins, second by John Lisby. All in favor of Mike Brown on the sewer board? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now make it unanimous 6. There you go.
Thank you. And then
Anything else?
I'm going to leave the council our agenda for Thursday night's meeting. And we'd like to see somebody show up,
Okay.
be a part of it.
All right.
We don't have a thing to hide, okay?
Got donuts?
Chocolates.
They will if you bring them, John.
I won't be here.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Next up is the health department. I think, Brittany, you had one that we had carried over for advertising, wasn't it?
It was from last month, so we just need to get that approved. It was just the additional money that we received for the HFI.
The 18,000 or
1161.
something.
Mhm.
I'm waiting.
That's why we keep it in.
All right. So on ordinance 2026-8, it's an ordinance listed as an additional appropriation. This is the additional funding that she received from the state on the 1161 fund, the local public health services. It's broke out on this, if anybody would like to see it. The total amount is $18,142.60. I think we've talked about it a couple of times. It's just adding to lines that already existed with additional monies that we didn't know we were gonna get until later in the year or after budget had occurred. So I would entertain a motion to accept the $18,142.60. John Collins made a motion to accept that amount, second by Lisenby. All in favor? 6-0 on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You got it.
Brittany, there's one more up here for
Actually,
you.
I've got two.
Um,
I have
You
a
got
tra-
more?
I have a transfer and then, I
This
guess maybe
one-
this one was a duplicate, but I have a did you have a transfer for, did you ask for? a
We already did
transfer?
that last time.
Okay.
This one is
think so.
ordinance of an additional out of the 1161 fund for professional services of $1,250, and it says for Alex Zimmerman. You know anything about that?
No.
That's on the checks. That's on the checks that were frozen. The ones that, after the checks were stolen, that's had one of the checks that was frozen that we had to rewrite.
Who is he?
He's their
He's our attorney.
Your attorney? Okay.
He's also the council attorney and a public
So-
defender, so
Well,
you'll
wait.
see him more.
Why do
than
we need
once.
to additionally appropriate if we had a check stolen and was
Well,
rewritten?
We could encumber that money, but what had happened was that money, that check was written December 19th. It was, that was one, well, no, yeah, that check would have been written, I believe, December the 19th. When we started doing the positive pay at the bank, there was a group of 16 checks that somehow did not get approved in time from the bank. The bank froze them. Those are the ones we talked about at the last meeting.
So the funds reverted back into 2020.
They did.
At the end of 2025.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, so do you want to do an additional on top of your budget, or do you want to do an encumbrance from 25 to carry this money back to pay it?
It doesn't matter to me. I have enough money in this year to cover that. So,
Okay,
you know what I
I was
mean?
just-
I don't think I really have to do anything, do I? If it just comes out
I
of
mean,
this
it might be
budget
easier
or
if we
last
just did
budget.
an encumbrance for all of those checks, if you would rather do that instead of an additional. But that's what's happened, that those were,
I mean, it
and I
seems-
think it was January the 8th that they were,
I guess to me, that seems
voided.
much more appropriate.
Yeah.
If the money were spent in 25 and it carried over and we need to pay it, it would be the same, much like Kevin talked about as rock. It'd probably be
exactly.
cleaner to do it that way than to say we're additionally
Yeah.
appropriating money for anybody to redo these checks. So,
Do you want to send me all 16 and what fund they come out of, and I can do like a resolution for
Yeah,
encumbrance
sure
or
will.
something?
you want that one back then?
Oh.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna reuse the number 9.
All right, already took care of CASA. Next up was, we was gonna do the bond stuff for the sheriff, but I think we're going a different route with that. Do you wanna talk
Yeah,
about that?
Jennifer and I have had, so I think Jennifer's had more conversations than me, but I was on a conversation today with Bo and Jason Stemler. And we talked about the ordinance and what we should be doing. And we talked about the additional appropriations. They think it would be better, and I think it would be easier for the auditor's office to do a resolution of reimbursement. So what we would do basically is say, okay, we've spent, I forget what the number was, upwards of 130,000 on legal fees. That's part of the settlement, and due to the agreement with the sheriff that was paid. So we're just going to reimburse where that was paid from and begin reimbursing the general fund. And so the overspending in 24, that would be reimbursable because that would lead to the action. 2025, we can reimburse. So Jennifer's getting those numbers together to me, and I think that Bo and Jason think that's probably the better way to do it, because that's what the bond's for, is really to reimburse those costs that flow from the mandate. We've talked a little bit about whether we could, appropriate for 2026 in the agreement, and it comes on a really slight legal edge for me. So I think that that's a better way to do it. I'm just waiting for numbers for Jennifer. I'm going to draft a resolution for reimbursement and reference why we're doing it this way and what funds we're using to reimburse what. Obviously, we want to reimburse as much of the general fund as we can because it's the most flexible fund for you guys to use. So that's sort of where we're at. So I don't know that right now in additional appropriation. I'm going to draft the resolution. I want to send it to Bo Zeller just to make sure, since it's sort of a new I'm gonna do it from scratch. It's not what we've been using. And then Jennifer's gonna get me the numbers that I think would be eligible for reimbursement. So some of those reimbursements, the majority of them will probably go back to general. And then what else is left of the bond fund, and then we'll start looking at what we can reimburse that we spent in 2025 for the sheriff's budget out of the two lit funds. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head because I talked about it today with two other attorneys, but
And that would be much easier for my office.
For you all not to have
And that
to
would be
switch
not, and
everything.
it would also be easier because the sheriff's department would have to change and remember to do different
Right.
funds too.
Right.
So it would be a
So
lot
it would
easier
keep
then.
them what they're doing,
Yes.
you what you're doing, and then it would just back up money from the past, which is really truly what that was for anyway.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions on that? We got that taken care of.
after you think about it, if your brain stops hurting, you call me if you have questions because it took a while for me to.
The other thing I put on here was, at budget time, we didn't know if anybody was gonna get any kind of pay raise or talk about pay raises, depending on how much money we had, but we've since discussed some pay raises, the options thereof, and possibly looking into hiring somebody to fix some of our job descriptions, things like that. So I think in a fair move or a proper move with what the sheriff has requested of having his pay matrix, that if we're gonna consider pay raises or increases to other employees, that he too should get his pay matrix for 2026 that he initially had requested. So, and then the only request I would have is that, it is understood to be a year-to-year pay matrix. It's not a contract. It doesn't extend beyond that calendar year because you don't know what the next year is going to bring. So I wouldn't be willing to enter us into any kind of a long-term thing there, but I think it works for them. They like it, and that's what they've requested to have. So what's everybody's thoughts on that? Do you think that's the way we go for that, or?
Well, I think we need to understand the matrix. As I understand it, maybe 1.5%. I haven't looked at the original votes on this 5 years ago, whatever it was. But my understanding is 1.5% plus whatever else we give to the county employees.
My understanding is it's laid out in I don't have the document with me, but I should have, but it was laid out in there to show I think you're right on the 1.5 through the
Yeah.
years.
Like I said, I'm not sure either. That's the way I understood it, the year's supposed to be. And if we're gonna do that, are we gonna give 1.5 plus or not?
Are you gonna back up and give everybody else what they got last year that they didn't get?
I've made it real clear, matrix is not one of my favorite things.
Nor is it mine, but I think they like
I
it.
know that, and you'll have a chance to talk to them. But I do want to figure out what's the best way for us to proceed with this, and that may be a part of what's going to happen. That may be what's thrown into the mix here. And so we have to make that decision. I think.
Right. No, I agree. We definitely have to make that decision, but it was just something that came up, and I know that we said no at budget times. We didn't know what kind of money we were gonna have, so
Yeah.
I think it would be, I guess, fair to look at.
And I agree with you on the year-to-year thing, but that's not what I think they're thinking.
I mean,
I think they think this is like a 20-year from day one thing.
I don't know where they got that or who got that, but it's, okay.
That's
You have to come
why
up,
I'm bringing
you
it
have
up.
you have to come up here, sir. But, thank you. Just because everybody watching won't be able to hear you.
That came from the judge, court order in Clark County, which the judge ordered the Scott County Council to implement our matrix back in 2025, which is a yearly contract for 20 years. It's a contract. It'd be no different than somebody at Morgan Foods having a 5-year contract with Morgan Foods and then them coming back the next year and saying, we're not going to honor your contract. Sorry about your luck.
Okay.
There's no difference
Do
in
you have a
that.
document from that judge that says it's a 20-year?
I have a court order from the judge that implemented that.
And it says
yes.
in there, this is a 20-year.
This,
agreement.
she re-implemented. See, that's where you're trying to twist your words, and this is where you're going to lose, because
No,
here's
I'm
the
not.
problem you got.
Mr.
It's a
Mr. Gooden,
20-year matrix.
I'm not going to argue
okay?
with you. I'm
I
simply
know you're
asking
not.
questions.
Sure.
We're
I'm
going to go
answering
back and
them.
forth civilly, or we're not.
Right, okay. I can do
Sheriff,
it.
If I'm looking at the signed agreed order right now, signed by the judge.
Okay, I'm not
And it
sure.
says all 2025 pay rates shall be based upon the matrix attached here too.
Right.
All 2025 pay rates.
And
shall
that's a
be
20-year agreement is
all
what that is.
2025.
That
pay
is a
rates.
20-year agreement,
Not 2025 to 2045, 2025 pay rates.
a 20-year agreement.
Okay. Well, then I guess we're gonna agree to disagree.
All right.
I think
I'd
the
agree with
discussion is
that. Yes.
2026.
I agree with that. I mean, what we're just trying to do is do what we were told we was going to be given by, you know what I'm saying, the judge told us in that order. We're just being treated fairly. This is something that we had 5 years ago, and because of political games, you know what I'm saying, it got snatched away or whatever. And I just agree that it's a 20-year deal. And I think that I have other people that in the legal field, obviously, that agrees with that also. Or I would never get up here and say that.
So-
Me personally, I've always, and I've talked to you this, I'm not bringing no surprises here. I've always had doubts that council 5 years ago could mandate us to do something later. I have doubts that we could tell a council 2 years from now and then what they've got to do. So I do have disagreements, but it's not almost to help your people. I think they deserve what you're asking for, and I actually admire you trying to get everything you can get for them. I don't necessarily totally agree with the matrix though.
Well, there was a reason why the matrix was implemented. We know that because we were so lowly paid that finally caught us up with the surrounding counties, and that was what was able to, you know, to keep it. We're on the same page. I know that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and for me, I don't have a problem with giving you what this year. I have more of a concern what's gonna happen next year.
Well,
Is this gonna be something every year? And I'm saying that sincerely,
Mhm.
because next year we're gonna have a new sheriff. I don't know who it's gonna be.
absolutely. And it will not be my fight.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. I'm just saying that by your standards, what you're saying, there's not a vote on this next year. It's gonna continue next year. Because that's what's in the so-called contract. That's where I come into disagreements. But I can live with doing this for 1 more year. And I don't have a problem with that, because I think it's cheaper, and you've heard me talk this. I don't have to agree with it, but it's cheaper than going back to court. And that agreement we had, if I remember right, said if we have disagreements, we just go back to the attorneys and we start all over. And tell me if I'm wrong here, if this don't go through, you're probably gonna sue us, right?
I
Going back
can't
to court
discuss,
for a second.
well, here's the thing about it is this, obviously, no, I can't discuss between me and my legal
Okay.
folks would do, you know what I'm saying?
And I understand that, we do have that concern. But knowing that we probably paid this thing last year, you give me a better answer, $150,000 in attorney fees,
130.
130,000. I'd much rather have that money somewhere back into the county.
Well,
Preferably
who
employees.
wouldn't?
But I'm also, and I'll ask every one of the new sheriff candidates, if they're gonna pursue this thing next year. And, I think they ought to tell us. And if this looks like this is gonna go on and on and on, and I don't know what we're getting out of anything, I would like to see it end. And I think that's why several of us voted for it a while back. We want to stop the bleeding. But if it's heading that direction, 1 year, I think we're better off. That's just my opinion.
You can argue with the next sheriff that's standing up here, because I'll stand up for my people and I'll stand up for the citizens of Scott County over being
So-
citizens.
So, or John, just so I'm following, are you saying go with his pay matrix for 26, 1 year, and we'll deal with it in 27? Or,
I would say do it for 1 year.
and then the sheriff's department's taken care of, we move on?
And I would, yeah, because if this is gonna happen again next year, there will be a point where I'll say, hell, we'll just have to go to court.
And I agree with you
This ain't gonna
100%.
end. But I think 1 year is cheaper to settle it with them than it is to fight it.
And is that what you want? You want your matrix for your
We
year,
want the same
you'll be
thing that
done.
everybody else gets.
Now, tell me
We
what
get-
you think the matrix is gonna entitle.
Well, it's the same matrix we've had. I
I
mean, it's,
know, but I mean, is it 1.5% plus whatever else we get?
at this point, I would just be honest with you, what we would do is just the matrix that we submitted. Okay, yeah, obviously I would say that, you know, another
Well,
percent
I'm
and a half would
asking
make
if
it
that's
up.
in the contract.
What's that?
If that's in the contract from the judge.
Well, that's not going to be
Settlement
that
we made is
specific.
1.5 plus part of our settlement.
No.
No,
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's
I'm
not
asking
part of the
if we don't-
settlement.
no.
If we can't come into agreement here on these things, I don't want to end up back in court even if we do agree. Settle. I want it over.
Oh, I do too. I've tried to get it over, you know what I'm saying, before it even started this.
So are we all in agreement or not? That it's 1.5 plus or just 1.5?
I have the
We have the
I'm
matrix
I
right
have the
here
matrix that was attached to
in the court
settlement.
agreement.
Let me ask you something too. I mean, we're sitting here talking tonight about, I like the idea of a 3% raise, somebody else likes 2. I don't know where we're gonna end up. But you could end up with 1.5 and everybody else could end up with 3.
Well, here's the deal on it though. We've got a guarantee again. That's that 20-year guarantee that over the time, no matter what happens with the others, we'll continue to get ours. That's the reason why it evens out. Now, I'm just going to be honest
That
with you.
evens out over 20 years,
Right, that's what I'm saying.
not
It-
over 1 year.
Not for the
This
other
year, you
people.
could end up, your guys could lose.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that is this, and I know what you're saying, but we're talking a career. I'm not talking about a job. A job, yeah, that's accurate as a job. But as a career, then you have to look down 20 years down the road to see what you're going to be making or what it is. And for somebody to come in here and for us to tell them, oh, we don't know if you're going to get another pay raise for 20 years. Oh, we don't know if you're going to get, that's what we have to do.
Totally agree with career. But if the next council says no next year or the year after, it's not a career move. It's 1
Right.
year.
But here's what I'm telling you right now, and I'll say this for whoever's running for sheriff next time. If they ain't got the guts to stand up here and fight for their people to get what they need, what they deserve, and what they earn, then I wouldn't want to know who the next sheriff's going to be, because anybody that wouldn't, I think should have a
You
major
have-
problem.
and I admire that, I'm telling you up front. But I want to know from the 3 guys running what their plans are.
I agree. I would, now that you said that, I do
Come
too.
in here and answer to us, but I'd like for somewhere along the line, somebody give us those answers.
I also would like to just get through this year, but I mean, I have a struggle with, you know, we've argued the pay matrix, we do it, finishes out the sheriff term, and then it's on to the next guy
I agree.
to fight it.
I agree,
But,
I mean, I'm
You know,
hoping
all
to
these
avoid that.
employees sitting here, their bosses can't come sue us if we don't give them raises. But he's saying, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to sue you, technically.
Well, those bosses could come to
And-
you.
and I'm
Yes,
here-
they could.
I'm here agreeing with you, but I'm just saying for 1 year, I think it's cheaper to play the game.
I think so too.
It's not a great thing. No, there's no good answer here.
I'll hold my hand up to vote to enact it tonight.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I want to
But
know. if
that's
we're
what it
voting
is.
for 1.5%.
That's what my vote is.
1.5%.
1.5%.
That's it.
And it falls back to the scale, we're talking about the scale we submitted for the 2026 budget too.
The 2025 in the agreement,
2026 budget.
The
we was
agreed
off
order.
that.
that pay
Well, we'll-
matrix that is in the agreement.
No, we talk, now see, this is what I'm talking about is this, we will come to an agreement on something. And then later, then all of a sudden you take it away and try to change it. It was printed in the Crothersville Times newspaper, the 2026 budget monies for the matrix for the sheriff's office. It was printed in there.
Sheriff, you just stood right there and said that a judge ordered your pay matrix
Right,
in 2025.
But
And that
the
is
judge,
what we're going to give you until your term is done and you are gone and we
Okay.
deal with the next guy.
let me tell you, okay, if that's what you think that you need to do, but the problem you got is this, when you enhance it.
wanted.
No, listen to me, man. You're not listening to me. Okay, that's the problem. You just, ma'am,
Do you have the copy of the pay matrix?
yes, I do, as a matter of
Can I
fact.
see that, please?
Now, which one you want to
The
say?
one you're
The
asking.
one that
Yeah,
you're
what
saying is
asking
the
for.
20-year contract with the judge.
I'm gonna give you what we asked for.
When
Is
you
this
have
what
the
you're
pay
asking
matrix,
for, or This is what you're saying,
JR.
the judge entered as a 20.
when we have the pay matrix, the employees do not get
That's not the I don't want to salary.
the,
What's your matrix?
uh,
This is what we're
checks at the end of
talking
the year.
The
It's
what?
in your your
Longevity.
raise. The pay matrix excludes us from the end of the year checks that people get the longevity.
It didn't.
It does.
It did not. He got one, Toby got one, Doug got one.
That, the rest of us did not.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't exclude
But when we
everybody.
use, when it's implemented, we don't get that.
That's
So
I understand
that's the difference.
I know,
I'm just trying
This is the
I'm just
order,
telling you.
exactly.
That's just part of it. We don't get
And that's
that.
the matrix, and it matches
So
what
that's
you
the
showed me.
difference.
I don't know about these numbers, because I
This
don't
here's
have
the
them.
one, this should be it. And it is the same thing.
Well, it is, but I don't know.
Because that's
that-
got last year's thing, it would be an increase this year.
Right, what I'm saying is, I don't know where these people fall on there. I'm just looking
Well,
at
it
these
says-
yearly things. If
We
these
got
yearly
6 people
things.
at
26, 44, we got one person at 26, 84, it's all like.
No, I see what you're saying, but I don't, like I'm saying, you can't give me, you can't say, hey, my part-time deputy, and I don't know that person, where they fall here. It's not
Yeah,
over here.
part-time deputy.
This is what they're saying.
Part-time deputy starts right there.
This is the exact matrix that was attached to the agreed order. And they're saying that their one keeps, JR, please tell me if I'm wrong. What you're saying is you would like a motion to continue this matrix for the next year,
For 2026,
for
yes.
2026. And what he's saying is that these would be the numbers. And I'm saying, I don't know, I can't tell because I'm just looking at the matrix. The matrix is the same.
Right.
It has the same numbers as what the agreed order had. I can't, I'm gonna take his word for all of that this is what each of those people would make. But
Yeah, that's probably a auditor question anyway, as to
Yeah.
how many years of service they have and all
So I
that.
think you guys are just talking a little bit past each other. The matrix that he wants to say, let's do that for 2026 for the sheriff's office. I just confirmed with you that that's the same matrix that was attached to the agreed order.
That is, yeah, that's what it is here in front, okay, because the problem is.
You've just
this is
taken
what I'm
that
trying to
matrix
tell
and
you.
plugged it
Yes,
into your deputies.
exactly.
Yes.
So it's not the same because it's different number of years people.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that a 10-year deputy gets paid at year 9. I'm not saying
Right,
that.
there you go. That's what you was explaining to me.
No, not at all. I'm saying wherever the 9-year guy ended at December of 25, he is now a 10-year person on your matrix that you have
He's
provided.
bumped up a year, yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
I totally
Absolutely.
agree with you. there.
Okay, we're on the same page.
And that runs through December of 2026, and then the next guy deals with it. Is
That's exactly right.
that is what you're asking for?
Sheriff,
Absolutely.
All right.
may I
Mhm.
have, I don't want the salary ordinance part of it because that's gonna be an auditor and you to plug in. Can I have that matrix that you just showed me? Because I can't print this off my phone, but I've confirmed it's the same one.
Mhm.
Can I have that back page of the matrix and have them sign off
I have
on
no
it?
issue with that. Yeah, I can make a copy of it.
Okay.
See,
We have a
here's,
copy?
that's what I say. Here, I have to, unfortunately, the problem of it is this. I have to drive every single nail every time I've had to deal with the council. And you can get that copy, yes. Because we was promised K-9 funds to be transferred and all this stuff and still haven't got anything done. That's been months ago. And we talked to I think it was the last meeting we spoke about that. None of that money has been transferred. You see what I'm saying? Like you said you was going to do.
Well, I just want to make sure, I mean, and maybe I was wrong on talking and I apologize, but for anyone listening, your 2025, wherever Deputy X ended, would move to the next year, which would give them a 1.5
It would be a
increase.
2026 schedule, yes.
And that will satisfy the 2026 year.
The way you was explaining it to me is that everybody would stay on the 2025 schedule.
And I
That's not right.
apologize. That
Okay.
is not how I meant it.
That's,
So with that, I will
I-
make the motion that we
you know-
accept Sheriff Jerry Gooden's pay matrix for the 2026 year that will pay all of his deputies where they fall on that matrix.
yeah, I'm good with that.
All right.
Make a motion. Second.
So we got a motion and a second. All in favor of that?
Who did the second?
6-0. All right, we're good there.
Who was the second?
John Collins,
John
I'm
Collins?
sorry.
Okay.
All right, we got that done. Did you guys have anything else did you have anything else on?
Just
here
one more
tonight?
thing is that where are we at on the funds too? 'Cause we've talked about that, and we've been promised and we still haven't got it.
Got your money moved, is that what you're asking? The money from that?
Which ones are we, the K-9
It was
fund?
just our discretionary funds, K-9 fund, leasehold fund, and those different funds. I call them discretionary funds. You guys call
I
them
know.
something different. So that's just another language.
We're not
barrier.
arguing over a word. I get it. On those, we were gonna look at doing like a budget or something for those, weren't we?
You promised me you was going to do a
They said
budget
they
this
were
year and
gonna
you
budget
didn't.
it. We were gonna do equipment, which the equipment line was only in there. There's no equipment line in their budget because they didn't ask for it thinking it was gonna be in the home rule funds. And
Okay.
it's not. So we're getting to the point, we're getting late on bills so we're gonna have to do something to make.
Getting late on
equipment-
bills, how?
Because
Because
they've got,
the money
bills.
hasn't been appropriated, so there's no bills that come out of that.
well, that's what I'm saying. There is no line for equipment appropriated in his budgets because the home rule funds, nothing's been put into those.
Okay.
That's where we were saving the taxpayers all the money because we was paying them out of those funds.
Um,
See, and now we got to put them into the budget.
Because we talked the last time, and I'm working off memory, I'd have to go back and look at minutes, but I thought we were gonna do like in the K-9, for example, so much in dog food, so much in equipment to be able to budget it, to appropriate it and use it as needed.
And nothing's been done with that. So
Okay. So who needs to do that? You need,
I thought Amy, my memory was that Amy
I thought
and Jennifer or
we're gonna
Jennifer
work out like
or
a
somebody was gonna
amount.
work it together. Because we talked about, there was a, I'm trying to remember. We talked about that Mandy had that thing that she couldn't pay because it wasn't out of the right line. And if you put everything in the equipment line, am I crazy or did I dream this? We put everything in the equipment line. There's some things that we're not going to be. So I think what we talked about, and Amy, I can't remember if you were here or not. I was thinking Jennifer was supposed to work with somebody in the sheriff's office, and I don't know if it wouldn't be.
We were
Who it would
told
be
that it would be
otherwise.
put in the budget, but nothing was put in
It
the budget.
it needs to be.
It was supposed to have went to equipment lines.
But if you put like a canine, if you
You're-
put that in
We
equipment, you
can't
can't
do
buy
that
dog
anymore
food.
because y'all have to pay for dog food and stuff.
Right.
It has to come out of commissary. It can't come over here after the fact. It has to be paid for before.
But that's what I'm saying. If you had, I thought at some point you were going to get with
Like
Jennifer
credit
and say, we spend $5,000 a year in dog food and we put that in there and then we spend,
We can't do that,
But I
Joe.
think she's saying that you
There's
have
no
to
way
pay
no
for it
It
before
have,
you get
we
it.
pay
You
for
can't
it
file
from
a claim for it.
commissary
Yeah.
and we used to get reimbursed. You guys have since said no, so we
Can't
can't do
reimburse
that.
you can't reimburse.
And you
that.
you
But what
cannot
about-
do it ahead of time.
What
without
about the
paying.
credit? Didn't, you got permission from the commissioners to get a credit card, right?
Credit card for
That we would pay with our
commissary credit card.
But
We don't have a credit
guess-
card.
if you had your canine fund and it had a line in it that said dog food and it had $5,000 on that line, why could you not use that to buy dog
How am
food?
I gonna pay for it, JR? I
She
You
can't.
turn
can't
in a
file
claim,
She can't
Or
file
they
We
a
have
have
a
to
card?
pay for
You have
Okay,
to pay
you gotta
for it
buy it.
first.
So you don't have like a
No.
bill that you
No,
get from
no,
somewhere.
no.
And the last
You'd
five
almost have to
last
have
year.
that.
I got you.
Credit card on that budget line to
But
go
I
buy
think the discussion is that if we put it all in equipment, that limits you.
Well, you were
Well-
gonna put most of it in equipment, but it was
Are
never
you gonna,
done.
I mean, the K-9 fund, I think you asked for all of the money to be budgeted in the equipment line.
No, we asked for a canine fund to be a canine fund completely. You was gonna put it in the budget where we could use it to 28,000 that was in there. The
Correct.
other ones is what you were gonna put in the equipment line. That was the leasehold
Because we
fund
don't
and the other
have-
funds, it's non-taxpayer
We don't
funds,
have our, safety
supplies.
supplies. We don't have any of those, and we don't have our, where we pay leases and where we pay for computer programs and stuff. We don't have any of that. You didn't put technology in.
I mean, I guess the
So
only
that's
thing,
what we would use a lot of that for.
so can we put together, like, when we do an additional, it has to be laid out, like what line it's going in, how much. That's the only thing I can do. I mean, I can't
What,
fix
no,
Well, that's why you guys
buying
said we
dog
would
food.
put it in equipment purchase lines and one in jail and one in the sheriff's, but it didn't get done.
Well, you
Nothing
can't
was
move
put
it
in.
from,
You can't move it.
you
from
can't
fund
move
to
it from fund to
so-
fund. So you
There
would have
wasn't
to,
any in that fund.
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I can't put from LISO to your current budget in a line.
all we asked to do was this, and this was been simple enough. You said that you had to have it budgeted. We said, create us a budget for those. We submitted a budget for those. We submitted that Form 1s. Am I right, Jennifer?
I
Yes.
think you're right.
You
In
did.
all
Yeah, we did.
equipment.
All
And
in
we
equipment.
didn't,
Well, that's.
no, they were not.
You
They was,
decided.
each one of them had their own line.
That's what you guys-
I remember, we looked at them and that's why I said, we can't do all of equipment.
Well, we
Because
put
then
it,
you're so limited.
what you told us. That was on that.
I'm just, that's what I'm saying.
I think
It's,
we're talking past, we
Yeah,
can't go fund to fund. I'm talking about lines. I think you're talking about funds. We can't
You
send
said
money
you would
from a
put it in
LISO
an
fund into the
equipment,
general. to
in an
your budget.
equipment line, because that would cover the majority of what we needed. Whether it be ammunition or guns or whatever, it would be equipment.
So how much do you want in an
Because
equipment
the
line in the
fund, we
LISO
could
fund?
Buy equipment with it. So whatever we wanted or needed.
How much do you want in an equipment line in
here's
the LISO
exactly,
fund?
here's exactly what we want to do. And the whole council will hear this. We just need a line created in the K-9, you know what I'm saying, for us to use the K-9 where we can ride out of it. Okay, and it stays separate. And the reason why we have to have it separate is because those monies are donated
Okay,
by people. You see what I'm saying? They're not things that we get. These are donated funds. So they have to be used for exactly a K-9. is what
I
they have to use
understand
for.
that.
And there is an ordinance, there's already a local ordinance governing that.
We have that. What line do you want it
What
in?
line do you want it
The K-9
in?
fund, what line? do
I
want
think
it
you can create a new line under K-9, under the sheriff's side and put it all in
It
there.
don't go
No, you
sheriff
have
or
to keep
jail. It's in
donations
the
a
K-9
different
fund.
That
So
was
that line would be
created
in
just
that
for
fund.
So it would be K-9, you know how, so Sheriff, you know how
I know that. I
you
know all
have
about the
general
budget
and then
side.
sheriff
I
and
know.
then your lines.
Right.
This would be K-9, and then you need to tell us what money you want in what line and what lines to
Okay,
create.
here,
Dog
that's what I'm gonna
food,
do is this.
Training, equipment, vet bills.
Okay, I
professional
know-
Services, whatever.
We're talking past each other. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but here's the bottom line on it is this. Just, and you say you know what to do, okay? All we want to do is the money that was donated to the K-9 to use for K-9, to let us use it for K-9, because you've not let us do that. You've taken away whatever you've done with it, we don't know. Because we've asked to use it and
It's
it's not
sitting
been
in a
able to be
fund.
used.
It's sitting in a fund. We need
Exactly.
To know what exactly
What do
we're
you
using
want
for.
to
Are
do
you
with
using it
it?
for professional services? Are you using it for
It don't work like that.
equipment?
No,
It does work
no,
like that.
it's in a K-9 fund now that a local ordinance was created that
Correct.
controlled that fund.
For what
So
it
we
can
don't
be
have to go into that fund. All we do is submit the bill, and as long as it would be a K-9, it would be coming out of that fund. We did it for years.
I'll
It
fix
has to
this.
be
Jennifer,
appropriate.
will you
has to be
advertise the
appropriate.
K-9 fund for unappropriated, whatever amounts in there for March?
That's what you was already supposed to done. Thank you.
All right, we good?
Yeah, and now the rest of the funds, you said you was gonna move into equipment. Now, see, that's like
Which one?
yeah, but you bow your head because this stuff you already promised to us and you guys
I
never
don't
did it.
promise anything. I'm here to work.
I've got witnesses that'll tell you that this is what
Okay,
they was said.
what do you
Not
want
right,
next?
Jennifer. We want the other non-discretionary funds, that's what I'm talking about, non-taxpayer funds. It's not taxpayer money.
Which
Okay.
fund are you talking about?
LISO funds,
LISO auction funds?
fingerprint funds.
You want all of them?
There's about 7 or 8 of them. Yes, those were supposed to be put in the equipment fund. That's
If
what you
you-
told us you was gonna do.
If you have time this week, we'll sit down and go through that and we can do all those funds if you want. And I'll advertise them and then we'll have them ready for the March 10th meeting.
Sounds
That's
good.
good. That's what was supposed to have been done 6 months ago, and then that's
I
what
thought that
bothers
was
me
being
about it.
done. I just haven't ever seen it.
They-
My fault. Maybe I should do it. I'll follow up.
That's what I'm saying, Joe. I'm not trying, but here's the thing about it is we talk about this stuff 3 months ago, and then when I come up and talk about it again, it's like, well, I don't know what you're
I
talking
thought
about.
it was done or being done. I just
Right.
have never seen it come back across. So I apologize. I will keep up on it. I'll keep in contact with Amy and Jennifer to make sure they're advertised for the March meeting, and we'll see what we can do for you. Fair?
Absolutely.
But-
That's all we asked for 6 months ago.
During this time, can you go back to commissioners, and ask to get a credit card for the K-9 fund so you can buy for,
But we don't create, again, we're talking about each other. We don't create credit card policies.
I know.
The
Just throwing that idea out there. I'm
commissioners
sorry.
do. We
That's-
create debit card policies.
I know.
which
We
they
told that's the same
decline to
thing.
do
We
because
told
they
them the
don't
same
want
thing, but they
those.
said that wasn't right. That's
I
what State
just
Board of
met
Accounts
with-
did.
and we say, we're not responsible for credit cards.
I just trying to make it easy.
No, I agree with you. That's what we tried to do, but
Hey,
You know.
and for the record, Jennifer, for me, I'm talking myself, James Ward, for me to vote, the unappropriated, I will do for K-9 funds because you got those donated. They were put in there unappropriated. I don't like that on any other thing. So if we're going to lay it out and you want my support, I will have to see what it's going to be used for me. Now, anybody else can say whatever, but
So do you want it advertised and unappropriated? or not?
unappropriated for K-9, I'm fine with. I will vote for that one because I agree to.
Clear though, you're still not gonna be able to buy dog.
But dog food's still gonna have to come
Canine fund, the way that is.
commissary or whatever, because I don't know how you would use that to
we,
buy on the spot.
well, here's the thing about it is this, though. What we did is we would send it over to Jennifer, and then she would reimburse the account. We would pay for it.
We cannot
And you
reimburse
can't do it. So what we're
commissary.
telling you to do is this, just put it in a fund where we know it's there, where she can write a check, send it to IAMS or whoever it is, you know what I'm saying, we're buying the food from. It'll have to come from Jennifer, obviously, or the treasurer's office, actually, so it would come from. You see what I'm saying?
Fine by me. If you can work that out, I'm fine with it.
That's all we've asked. That's all we've asked for.
Can you do
It really
that?
is.
Can you
We
write
might
them
be
a
able to
check
do-
prior? Cause this has.
Same thing with the vest.
Or I was gonna say, we can do an
Do
ACH
it.
that would go pretty close to the same time. And Ryan has been working, of course, Ryan's out of town right now, but he's been working, we've been working with a P card. That might be something that we could do. It's a pay card that we might be able to do, but I hate to say, I don't have the best understanding of that yet. And we were supposed to have met last week and we had people that were sick and were out and we weren't able to get that. So when everybody gets back in the building, we're gonna try to do that. That might be a possibility for these funds, but I don't understand it well enough yet to
'Cause I
say,
think
yes, that's
that's the
definitely it.
majority of what this problem is. It's miscommunication of,
Yes.
Right.
we're thinking it's resolved. It's not being resolved because they can't spend directly out of that account.
Exactly,
So if we can get a method to that, I think that'll fix the problem of.
yes.
Fair? Clear as mud? All right. Only other thing I have is, do we have any idea when the December due commissary will be available
When it's finished.
next
We're
week.
doing all of our end of reports together, so it's.
Well, it
the
was
end
due
of
in
report.
December.
Well,
That's why I was asking.
no,
is this
it wasn't due
February?
in December. It's
Yeah,
due
the end of
in
July,
January.
the end of 25 was due December
So the
31st.
Remember the change in
Changes.
statute?
Yeah, I know that.
It's
We
quarterly
quarterly
December
report it.
31st, it was due
Yeah.
to the auditor for presentation to the council. It's not,
It's in January, yeah.
it's not
Well, this is February.
optional.
Yeah,
It's,
know.
it's statutory.
All right.
Right, that, then, so was this 6 months ago that we had here that we were supposed to get
Yeah,
done,
all
that we
right.
didn't get
Have a good
done
night.
too.
Thank
Not
you.
very
see what I'm saying?
statutory.
Next up,
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you,
Thank
Sheriff.
you. Coroner.
coroner.
Do you have the,
Hey, Jennifer, one question that I had on the 16th, I had sent an email that never got responded to. Do we have any idea how in Lao the 2025 sheriff went from the agreed amount to like $500,000 or $600,000 more?
That was the additional appropriations that were done to cover the bills that came over December 31st and February 14th.
Of this year? Of
No,
26?
in 25, early 25, the 24 bills that were
The
paid in 25.
24 bills?
that were appropriated in
Mhm.
2025?
Okay. That's all I was
And we
wondering
can reimburse from the bond fund.
for those.
Yes, because that was the overspending that they were talking about.
All right.
And she's gonna give me the total overspent by the sheriff in 24, so we
Be
can
24,
reimburse?
yeah.
Gotcha.
24.
But they were, some of the bills were paid in 25.
Yes,
So-
because we did an additional appropriation, and they
So
have a
do we
special
need the-
notation, 2024, I think.
All right.
Do you have the coroner's ordinance?
There you go. Oh, sorry.
Come on up, John.
All right. So this one is ordinance 2026-9, and it is a request for an additional appropriation for the Scott County Coroner's Office. I'm going to mark out the top line because I've spoken to Jonathan White and we've talked to the state. You can't change the elected official salary. The year's already set, the budget time's over. We can't change that. So in order to change that, we'll have to do it in the next upcoming year. Working down through here, you're asking for deputy coroner. You have let me see if I can pull up this 26 budget so we can see what's there and then we can work through what we got. So I don't know how easy it's going to be able to see, but I'll try. So we have the appropriations are here and we can just work down through them. But so on deputy coroner, are you asking for the 4,988 you currently have plus 5,000 more
Yep. That,
for a
that
total
would,
of 9?
that'd be a total of 10.
Or okay, right at
Um,
10.
That would put the chief deputy, right now, we just have the two of us.
Right.
What the next two lines is, what I'm asking for, is a third deputy, which is Jerry Buchanan. So far this year, he's had to cover for us 3 times. And then that fourth spot is like weekend after next, we're all 3 going to be going to a meeting. We have to have coverage. And that would just give me a line to pay somebody out of.
Okay.
Uh,
So on the deputy coroner, you're asking to move their salary to $10,000 from the, I guess, just shy of 5,000 that it's at. So you want to double their salary.
Yep.
And then you want 2 more people at
$5,000
$5,000
apiece.
a piece.
Yeah.
So if number 4 guy only ends up working 1 case, he gets paid the same no matter what?
No, that's going to have to be worked out, JR. I'm not going to pay somebody $5,000 because they cover 1 weekend for me. Thing is, we don't know how much we're going to have a 4th person.
Johnny, could you not, like we've done before recently, if somebody, you got 5,000, couldn't you have 2 or 3 people part-time?
And that would be a possibility.
You'd have somebody
But-
cover and they'd be out of that fund.
Well, the goal to eventually is going to be to move into where, like, we're moving our own bodies. And when we do that, we're going to go to 2 people at a time. I don't know if you've ever tried to work 24/7, 365, but it's a little rough. You know, you have to break it up some.
I was out to your office the other day. I was impressed with some of the things you've done.
John,
I appreciate you asking me to come out and everybody else, I think.
we have moved that process out there forward 30 years in the last 3.5 months.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think you have. I think it looks
And,
remarkable.
and it's going to take time to, you know, we have to start somewhere,
I agree with that.
you
But
know.
for me, I can't see throwing this much money at this right now.
Well,
We have to get there, I think, but I don't think I
what
can
you
fund
have-
this right now for me.
And I won't say everybody in here knows it because some of you haven't been following it. I've been fighting over this office for 5 years. This budget hasn't been adjusted for that coroner's office in 13 years. Other than, you know, they might throw $300 or $400 at it extra a year, but pretty well, I've got Jerry Buchanan's first budget he wrote 13 years ago laying on my desk. It doesn't look that much different than this year's does. And, you know, processes change. We've got the best computer system set up out there now. When I took that over, we didn't have the capabilities of using a computer out there. Andrew has done a miracle out there for us. You know, we're working with no phone lines. We're having to use technology. Technology costs money. I can actually send a fax from out there now, something that's never been able.
So he's got to be good.
I'm sorry.
He made you tech savvy, so he's got to be good.
I'll tell you what, between him and Nick Olick, I almost feel sorry for him because I've wore him out.
But I guess my
Any-
issue is that, yeah, technology and things cost money, but you yourself said in one of these chairs, the last 3 years of the budget of this office that
Absolutely.
you took, and you know as well as anybody that the money for this isn't here.
And you know as well as anybody, you got to start somewhere, JR.
I agree.
I'm just telling you, here's what I'd like to walk out of here with tonight.
All right. So what are you willing to walk out of here with? Let's start there.
Well, that's up to you guys. You know, that's why I invited everybody out there. I wanted everybody to see, here's what I started with, here's where we're at now. And a lot of the stuff for this office out there, it's like me and Heather spoke one, it's one-time purchases. You buy an autopsy table one time, that autopsy table's good 50 years from now. But what I can't have is one with the legs folded up under it and dropping a 600-pounder in the floor.
No, I totally agree. I understand that.
You know, that's,
So I
I'm
guess-
just after getting what I need out there. And then,
So let's grab some low hanging fruit. Special deputy. Instead of 10,000, could we put like 2,500 in there that you could split between people, and then let's see where we get through the year?
now, is that on the second one or the first one?
Special deputies.
It's
Here's the
lumped
way.
together on mine.
Can he not hire multiple people at one line?
Yeah.
You don't have to have 2 lines.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you could just make them.
Here's the way we'll work out there. I think Jerry Buchanan is
Salary ordinance.
covering my butt every day that I am. Preferably, I'm first one out on call. Then Stephanie, and if me and Stephanie both happen to be, if I've got a flat tire and she's in Seymour, Jerry Buchanan goes and covers this.
I got you. I mean, I get that.
What I truly need right now is in the top 3. You know, we'll look at that one at budget time if need be.
Which one?
The second special deputy.
The second one.
You know,
Okay.
we can,
Well, my thought is if you're only paying them per call, then if you hire two for one line and you're still only paying them out of that line, you don't need two lines with.
And I agree with that. They should have two or three, it wouldn't matter.
Is the problem. I just know we need the help some days. And as you can tell, corners don't make what most people make. Jerry's, well, he's been more kind than me, so.
Yeah. And I mean, he's an excellent asset for this whole county, but the problem is how do you budget? If you were sitting on this side of the table and somebody came in and said, well, I don't know what I need, but throw $5,000 at me, I know what Johnny White would say. I'd probably have to go edit the video.
Probably.
So,
Well, like the next one down, my longevity. We didn't add that from last year's budget, so we're not going
Who's
to be
that
able
for?
to add it this year anyhow. Strike it.
who's that for?
That was mine.
You gotta be here 5 years to get
I
that,
have
right?
been. This is my 6th year.
You were part-time under the coroner's office, right? Does that count towards longevity, Jennifer, in our handbook?
I believe he qualifies for that. I'll double check through Wagner Irwin and
Well, then I'm
Shearer.
gonna want my longevity because I worked for him for 5 years.
Well, it don't matter. Let's just strike out.
It does not. I was full-time when I worked for you. Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, I'm into my 4th year.
So it'll be next year anyway. So we can
Strike
low
it.
hanging
There
fruit.
you-
We
there
cut
you
that.
go. Low hanging fruit.
All it really, I know my buddy, this all these do is we've got part-time deputies, now they got part-time employees in county. You'll get a part-time line, give him the money in there, then he can hire who he wants to, wherever they're gonna be gone.
That was kind of what I was.
Well, there
I
you
think that's
go.
what they were talking
There
about.
you
That's
go.
what John was talking about.
Okay. So,
Give me $7,500 instead of 10,000. Let's just call it part-time.
so 2,500 where?
On the second
Part-time?
special deputy. Let's just call it part-time, however you want to word it.
Yeah, I said 25. So I,
Yes.
Question
Do you
for you.
have to say how many or that?
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be on the salary.
salary ordinance will
Yeah,
have to
that'll
say
be
how many.
advertised on
We'll
the
have to
other side of the
re-advertise.
fence.
You
Yeah.
give me a salary ordinance, part-time, with $7,500 in it total. You know, just, I didn't take this over until October.
Where did you come up with the 7,500 though?
That's.
Because your chief deputy
$5,000
makes 5,000 right now.
And $5,000 to pay
No, I mean, this is
Jerry.
what's budgeted, 5,000. So you're gonna put even, I mean, I don't think we can get there on these numbers. I think for me, I'd go probably 2,500 and let's see where you end up with part-time.
That'd be a start. You could come back.
I mean, if you get to September and you need more, you come back and we do more. It's no different than like the sheriff. He
Well,
has
there's no
part-time,
way
they
to
have
go about it that
part-time.
way for next year.
Well, and that's fine, but the thing is, right now, I've got one deputy, one. I'm trying to get her moved to $10,000. That's a year, not a month. That's $10,000 a year to be 24/7, guys.
I'm 24/7. People
That-
call me all the time.
And I bet you don't make $5,000 a year either.
I make, what do I make? 12?
Yeah.
12.6, something like that.
I'm.
But how many days do you go without a call?
It don't matter if you just get one call a month, JR, you're still on call 24/7, and you're sitting out there in that office. You know, everybody thinks the only thing the coroner does is goes out there, picks that dead guy up, and takes him and puts him in a cooler.
No, I don't think that
That's
at
not
all.
even close to what.
I don't think that at
I
all.
will say and I think what's missing here is the coroner's office in transition right now. It's been run by funeral home directors forever. and
Not
that's
for the
just
last
not-
5 years.
Yeah, and it's not happening anymore. It's becoming less and less, and I do believe there's room. You're trying, I think you are. Maybe you don't have to do it tonight, but I think somewhere along that pay's got to be adjusted
Oh, yeah.
over time, maybe not one time, do it all, but $10,000 ain't much for somebody if they're out there working every night. I don't-
It
and I know
absolutely
it's
is
sporadic
not.
how many hours you work, but I wouldn't want to get up all hours of the night and do what you do for $10,000.
Well, and like open records request, people have no idea how much of that crap we deal with. And I went over and seen actually Toby one day about, I had to pull information from the sheriff's department for a case of somebody that died 3 years ago because I couldn't find enough information to print out a coroner's verdict. It took me 14 hours to print out a coroner's verdict because the coroners before me didn't bother to do their job right. You know, and that's every day out there. You know, and it's not just the last 10 months that everybody keeps wanting to focus on. It was years before that. And, you know, I've invited everybody, anybody that wants to come out there and help me do this shit, you're more than welcome. I knew I was getting into a mess out there, but I had no idea I was getting into the mess I'm into. And, you know, the sheriff's department has been wonderful. How many files did Toby pull for me? About 60, I think. I asked for them one day and he had them the next. You know, every department, I've had to go to Jennifer and borrow reams of paper. When I tell you we went into that office with nothing, I mean, we went in there with nothing.
Right.
We have a full functioning office right now. That's because myself and Stephanie and Jerry is sitting up there doing paperwork for us. You know, Jerry's not been going out in the field a whole lot, but he's been trying to help me get all this stuff covered up, finished up.
I propose we give the deputy coroner the 5,000 he's asking,
And
5,012, whatever it is. And then the special deputy will make that 2,500 for both those positions. And if you need more later on, you need more later on in the year, we can fix that.
Guys, I don't mind to keep coming back. I will come back in here to every meeting. But just know, if I don't have what I need, I will be here at every meeting.
I think that's what you're supposed to do, and I think you're doing the right thing.
Well,
I think what he just offered is a pretty good start here.
Well, I think I am doing the right thing. I
do
come
too.
in here, here's what I need.
Johnny, I'm with you.
Not what I want, what I need. Now, I can come in next week or next month with another $50,000 like that of what we need out there. This was bare minimum. This is just to get me the help that I needed. I mean, you can look through this, guys, any way you want to. You take, the only thing on here for me was my longevity. Okay, just knock that off there. $1,750 for office supplies.
Hold on. Don't jump down there yet. All right. So Collins, you want to go with the $5,012 on deputy coroner?
The additional, yes, for.
Good. You good with that? All right. So we're leaving that one. On the one that on ours, it says 10,000. What do you want to make that? 25?
The special deputies, the two of those, the 5,000, that would be 10. Make it 2,500. If he needs to come back later on in the year, then he can.
I'm
get what he
good with
needs.
that. I don't, said he'll be back. I'm good with that.
And
All right.
if he needs to come back, he can.
Okay.
And we drop longevity.
And then we're going.
We're getting to that.
We're
That's
getting
all.
Hang on.
to
We'll
that.
get there.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll
So
be right there.
now we're talking office supplies, which we added that line, didn't we?
Yeah.
In
And that was, I had you guys to take, I had one line of money I could spend. It was $2,000 in body bags. And you guys split it into, well, by the time we got that done last year, I ended up almost $9,000 of my budget went back to the county. Because by the time we got it transferred, I didn't have time to get it spent.
Okay.
So
You bought a bunch of office supplies for out there, right?
I
Or is
wouldn't
this a
call it a
one-time?
bunch, but yes, you know, between the sheriff's departments give me stuff, Jennifer, I have begged every department in this county. You know, when we first went out there, I had to go to Jennifer to get reams of paper.
Are you guys good with the 1,750 on office supply?
You know, I've been doing my part. Sheriff's department gives us
Transfer
desks,
some into it, but I don't-
file cabinets.
So there was no office supplies last time? Last year?
We made a line, but I don't think we whatever we put in it, he probably didn't have much time to spend it, he's saying, because of the time that it was put in there. So office supplies last year, we moved $420 in there. You spent 387 of that, and it was $32.56 is what rolled back. So he spent 387 roughly in a few months out there. So do we want to leave it at 1750, or do you want to go to something different there?
I'd say leave it.
All right, leave that one. Let's see, what else? Wearing apparel, we put 500 in there last year. Didn't spend it. 3,000, I think. What all are you buying out of that?
That would be for 4 of us. That's stuff like, we have to work on the interstate,
So you need a vest?
stuff like vests.
I think you have to have vests by federal law. now.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, but a vest ain't
And you have to wear them
$3,000.
too. There's no ifs,
That-
buts, and ors.
I mean, Nick runs EMS on 7,500.
Yeah, that's not gonna be cheap, but
3,000, I think we could maybe,
Yeah.
well, I mean, what do we
What's
do?
clothing allowance we give, the building department?
Ben,
Ben,
What did we give Ben?
hang on, I'll go look.
I think it was,
I think it was $750. And then at the first of the year, we dumped another, I think it was about 1,200 into it. That's for one person.
he usually has a transfer at the end of the year too.
He
or
transfers
something,
within
yeah.
his budget. But I don't even see clothing in his.
Well, at the end of the year, he transferred a bunch into it.
He did,
You
yeah.
can, I think it's $1,200. You guys, everyone know me good enough. I'm not gonna spend a dime I don't have to spend.
I understand,
I
but
mean,
once
it's
it's
just not
there,
gonna happen.
once it's there, it's there. You know that as well as anybody.
I will say one thing, I've been on this board for over 3 years, and this is the first time the coroner's ever showed up.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I do think.
No,
So-
No, I
We should
think
go
we can
home.
all agree.
Ben
that-
Petty-
Lonnie Noble showed up one time 5 years ago. 5 years
I
ago.
wasn't here.
Ben Petty has
I was
$200 in
I was
wearing
there.
apparel.
And
You got a
he
commissioner's
he
seat.
come in and he asked
So how about
for
1,000?
whatever, and what they done is they
Johnny.
took his third person.
Mr. White. Ben Petty has $200 in wearing apparel, which is what you asked for that. So we times that by $4,000.
And then what got transferred in at the end of the year that got,
That's his budget. If you want to
Yeah, he
transfer at the end of the
transferred it
year,
from a different
come
line.
back.
well, I ain't got no money to transfer. I mean, let's be honest here, guys.
Johnny, question. Does that include your aprons and things that you wear while autopsying things?
No,
That doesn't
no,
include any of that?
that goes to supplies, John. That would be stuff like jackets to wear out on the interstate. And, if you're working out on the interstate, you need to be reflective.
So
You
the
need to
medical
be seen.
supplies and waste.
I want you guys to go to work without guns.
The medical.
How well-
supplies-
I don't need one for my work.
Johnny, the medical supplies and waste, that's for your gowns and that's for the waste.
Nope, that is
That's what I'm asking.
that is what it costs me.
Wearing
There's a
apparel, where
company
you guys
comes
at?
out there every
Miller,
Tuesday that
Elizabeth.
picks up our waste from
$1,000.
autopsies, the biohazard and stuff. And that's what it costs
Wearing
me for
apparel.
them to pick up 2 bags of it.
What was happening before?
I buy cases of them.
That was a question I had after I walked out there the other day and was looking.
Can I answer that when we're not in here?
Yeah.
But
Okay, just going to the dumpster.
I'll show you the picture of where they were at when I took over.
1,500?
wearing apparel, 1,500 to
I'd say
start.
1,500.
All right,
And you can always come
$1,500.
back.
$1,500. All right. Medical supplies and waste. Are you having a company do that?
Yeah, that's a
I
contract.
have to.
A contracted company?
That stays the same. Just leave it.
Well, was never there before. That's why I was asking.
Well, let's put it in there, 3,500.
I'm not going to jail because I'm throwing
Uh,
biohazard in the next dumpster. I'm not doing it.
Training supply or training was, where was it originally?
That's the best I know. I don't believe there's ever any training in
There's
it.
just travel.
I'd say we leave that because there's gonna be 3 of you leaving here for long on training on that, Johnny.
I have done enough trainings right now. I've been up to almost Chicago twice, Indianapolis for a week and a half. I'm going back to Indianapolis in 2 more weeks for 4 more days. Guys, this stuff don't just come to you. If you want to do an effective job, you have to go learn. The coroner's training board will teach you the minimum, here's what, but if you want this job done and done right, and for some,
Jennifer, question. Wouldn't his training be covered under that elected officials training budget?
parts
If
of
it's-
them are, parts of them
If it's
not.
required by state.
Yeah.
If it's state called.
If it's
So like
a
the
state-
training you just went to,
Yep.
that would be paid, so it wouldn't come out of this.
No, because I'm already certified. I just needed to catch my training hours up. So they offered me to go through that 40-hour class instead of having to do 8 small classes or something. They offered to let me just go through that 40-hour
All right.
training course up there. again.
So if we've never had training before, can we start at $1,500 and let's see where we
I
end
can
up?
tell you the 2 years that I was there before, I spent $12,000 out of my pocket.
I can't fix that.
So, yeah.
Well, and I think that's where we're getting.
I'm
a little
not asking
sidetracked.
nobody to fix
Is-
it. I'm just wanting enough money I can get my people trained to where they, I don't want Stephanie going out there hurting her back. I watched her try to keep a 600-pound corpse from hitting the ground. I watched that.
Okay.
I'm
But
not
going
going
to
to sit
training
back
isn't
and
gonna
watch a
fix
bunch
that.
of that.
Spending $3,000 on training isn't going to fix that.
Oh, yes, it does. You have to have training to not do stuff like that, JR.
Okay.
I think everybody up here agrees.
Or-
You're doing an
or
awesome.
how
Hey,
you
Johnny,
handle
Johnny,
hold on.
needles.
Johnny, everybody up here, I think, is on the same page. You're doing a fantastic job. You're passionate. It's fantastic. But we can't go 0 to 100. Everything we cut
Oh,
back
this
a
ain't even
little.
close to 100.
It can't be just there's a problem with everything. You got to give a little.
Well,
I mean, it's functioned before for 7 years without it being in a funeral home. I understand it's not the way you want it.
5 years.
I operate a fire department that I wish was a lot different, but I have to get what I get. All right, next.
All right. So what can we deal with training to get us started, to move on?
Can we go 2,000,
All right, 2,000.
Johnny? Can you let
I'm
me
just
do that?
writing down what you're telling me, guys. Y'all the ones with the checkbooks.
All right. Travel is currently at 300. So are you wanting to go to 450 or you want 450 additional
I
on
was
travel?
asking for another 450. Everything you're looking at on this page right here is an additional on top of whatever you budget.
All right. What do you guys want to do there? You want to leave 450 or do you want to, that would make it at $750 in travel? One for that,
I'm for it.
2 for that.
I think we'll be all
All
right.
right,
They
leave it.
already spent that.
Autopsy has 35,000.
Okay.
Need another 10.
The reason I asked for it is I'm trying to avoid being back in here every month.
That depends on how you budget or how
45
you
is
handle
what we spent last year. If you don't want to give me that, that's okay. We'll wait until I spend the 35 I've got and I'll come back then,
So you got 35 in his budget now for that.
Yes. There's 35 there. And I will say it has come close a couple of years to what it was in autopsies back in 22 was 39,900, 23 was 38,390, 24 is 34,810, and then 2025 was $42,856. So that's the most we've ever spent. So was last year, 2025 was 42,856. So
You
given
just
those
leave that
numbers,
offer and after I'm broke, I can come back. I mean,
I mean, you can see
that
how
makes you feel any better. I'm okay with that. Here, hell, let's just strike it.
Let's give him 5 on that.
No,
All right.
no, hell, let's just
John
strike it. and
Collins
I'll
says
come back if I
5,
need
we'll
it.
go 5. All right,
That's gonna get it close to what it was.
yeah, I agree.
Equipment, I'd say leave it at 6 for the simple fact that I know he's had to get tables and things like that to put in out there that were not there. And I'm sure there's other things that he needs for that as well.
I agree with that.
All right, staying at 6. Phone bills, next up is,
Okay, the phone bills, I had a $600 stipend. I don't want the $600. I want the county to buy the phones. Because if they get subpoenaed into court or something, I'm not giving them my phone. So Andrew ordered 2 phones for the coroner's office, something we've never had. I went to the commissioners and asked them for the second $600. And then the other day I went and talked to Andrew because part of what we're having to do out there is we have no phone lines. So we're having to do all of our internet stuff off of Wi-Fi, which he had to build us a network out there, get a hotspot and this little device where I can send faxes without a phone line. But you add up the subscriptions on all that. That's what I'm calling my phones. Andrew added it all up and it come out to the 600 I originally had plus $801.24. So that's what I put on here. I was asking for an additional of $801.24.
you've already went and bought all that stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, I got all
So-
that just as soon as I took
I mean, I
office
don't
out
guess
there
you got
because we
much
had
choice.
no
So he had
funds.
to, because he had to have phone line out there.
You ain't got much choice on that one. It's
No.
gotta be there, it's already
No,
spent.
And the commissioners give me the okay to get the second phone.
So we'll leave that one. Next up, fuel and maintenance. At $5,000.
I'll tell you how I come about that. The prosecutor has one car. It's I think a little gas saving car, and he's got $7,000 in a line item for fuel. Well, I split that $7,000 between fuel and maintenance. I put 5,000 of it on fuel, 2,000 of it on maintenance, because Nick Olick out at EMS was kind enough to give me a Dodge Durango for the coroner's office, and the commissioners let him give it to me.
So a minute ago, we used Ben Petty, your building commissioner, as a reference. He drives a F-150 truck every day in the county and has $3,000 in his.
Why in the hell are we giving the prosecutor $7,000? I mean,
You did it. You
I
were sitting here.
don't-
It ain't
but I
a
don't
we. It's a
know.
you. You were part of it.
I'm guessing at
All
that
right.
one.
I'd say
Let's call it 3,000.
let's go
If I
3
run
and
out
see
of
where you
gas,
end
I'll
up.
call you.
A lot different over there, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't matter. If I run out of money, I'll come back and see you later.
Go 3,500, that's half of it. That's-
What's the other maintenance? What does it cover?
For some reason, Nick Olick's lines, because that's who I stole all these numbers from, was Nick. His line at number 25102 says fuel and maintenance. I wanted to split them up so you could see where I was spending. I know there ain't no way in the world I'm gonna spend $7,000 for fuel because I don't spend that in my own vehicles. And I run wheels off them. The maintenance part, I left at $2,000 because the Durango does need some little stuff done to it. That's what that was for. So
What is it? What does it need? I'm sorry. What'd you say? Johnny, what'd you say it needs?
it needs a strut tower or a strut mount bushing put on it. The oil filter adapter on top of the motor, it's got that 3.9 in it that all of them leaks. And eventually they leak bad enough to catch on fire. Well, I opened the hood, I looked at it, it's just starting to seep a little bit. Now's the time to fix it before it's a problem.
All right.
Just little stuff like that. The tail light or the license plate lights was out on it. Well, you don't just replace the bulb on them. They're $18 a piece. I can't help it. I don't make parts. I just buy them.
All right. Are we leaving the two then?
I'm gonna say take the two combined and make it 3,500.
All right.
Now, what are we doing?
The 5 and this 2, we're making it one line item and making it 3,500.
Okay, so let's just mark, okay.
All right. So
If you need more, come back.
Do the math. and
let me
tell
do
what
some
you
math
get.
and I'll
There you
be
go.
back with you.
That's easy enough. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you, John.
That's not what I got.
Don't think me yet, the total's not in.
Because 50/12. I got $13 by 50/12 and 801.
So that amount is $32,013.24. Is that what you guys got?
That's what I got. That's not what he got. I'm ratting you.
$32,013.24. So 32013.24.
I'll make a motion, we pass that.
Motion by Miller, a second by Collins. All in favor of that? One. In favor, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. 4-2, motion carries. All right, next up, I need to do area plan. It's another budget.
We got to sign one in for John.
Yeah, it's coming down. See, he passes it that way first. So then it comes back up to me.
It ain't there yet. All right, ordinance 2026-10. Most of this one I think we've seen, but we'll run through it about the same. When Stacy left Jennifer's office, went downstairs, the agreement with us and the commissioners was that she was taking, what's it called, cartography out of that office and down there. In return, we posted a position in the auditor's office and then changed her salary by $10,000 to go be the director downstairs. That's listed here. Part-time was in there at 32, 35. And then we talked about at that same time, instead of hiring a second person, which was down there as an admin assistant, she was just going to have a part-time person and it would stay under 20, which is where she will be. Those two, I think we've agreed with. The longevity is what you carried with you from the auditor's office down.
Right.
So that could probably change from Jennifer's to there because it'll be the same. Meetings, what was the deal with that one? Because it was $250 before and it's going to $21.50.
The thing is about it, I don't know before because I wasn't down there. I just got in for my board members. It was the $200 each. So if they all went, that's what that would be. And that's just one training.
Okay.
So I don't know if they've ever done that before, but that was just one training.
All right. And then office supplies
And
was
I
that
asked the board members and no one's ever responded. So I don't know.
if they're going or not.
Or if they have gone, if there is more opportunities, is that the only thing? Is that the only thing per year? I'm not sure on that.
Okay. All righty. When is that training? Do you know?
I believe it's in March, the end of March.
All right. I should know that, but I didn't. I'm not going, by the way. So do you want to?
I think actually there's 3 separate. There's a spring, a
summer and a
summer, or and a fall.
All right. And then on the office supplies, are you needing an additional 500 from the 3,000 that was there or?
Well,
Did it
Though-
get changed? I'm looking, that was 25. Let me pull up 26.
No, office supply was only approved was $1,500.
All right,
So making it 2,000.
making it 2,000. All right. Which is weird because in 25 it was 3,000, but the person before you may have not spent that much, and so we changed it at budget time. So that would take it to a total of 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the postage, was it just gone?
Zero.
I guess zero.
I didn't have any, so that's just
All
two
right,
rows of
so-
stamps.
It was 200 last, or in 25, so 156 isn't bad. Travel and mileage was 0 in 25. 200, is that for you to go to meetings or?
That's just putting something in the budget in
All right.
case the board members go.
Gotcha. The copier leasing. Do we lease a new copier or do you know?
No, it's been there since Marty actually,
Because there was nothing
Got-
in 25 for it.
I
so
know, I
don't know
had
how we
to, in
paid it.
25, I had to pay 24s and 25s
So
lease.
nobody had paid it.
No one had paid it.
Okay. And then legal notices, looks like it's pretty standard at
Yeah.
200. So I would say most of that is in line with exactly where it should be.
Well, in 2024, the copy leasing was 148.83, and in 2025, it was 180.17. So it went up that much, so that's why I put in the 210.
Okay. All righty. Well, what's everybody's feelings on this one? You want to change anything? You want to leave it the same? You can go down, not up.
What's the total amount?
32,334.
That's her salary and everything?
Yes. That's the total changes, which I will say, for some reason, this budget is about $10,000 less than what it was even in 25.
I say we go ahead and do it. I make a motion that we pass it.
So a motion on ordinance 2026-10 out of the general fund for $32,334 by Collins. Second by John Lisby. All in favor of that one? 6-0 on that. All right. There's that. You got anything else?
No.
Sorry it took a little while. I
That's
think we had to
okay.
do some advertising or something on that one, so you've been waiting a little bit on this, but
All right, thank you.
yeah, that too. And this meeting.
And the childhood
All right.
advocacy, please.
How much more we still got?
What else do we have?
The childhood advocacy, the like
Oh, yeah.
patiently waiting and all of these. And John,
Yeah,
we have all of these. We have.
Did
I
you-
don't know what
You want to
the-
talk on the childhood advocacy tonight, or
I
it's up
don't
to you.
know about these.
How soon do you need them? How soon do you need the money?
Jennifer, do you have a resolution from the commissioners on this one?
I do. I didn't bring it with me, but I do have one. It was from the end of December.
From the end
So
of
if I
December?
put you to
Greg
March,
Princeton
is
seemed to
that
know about
going to
it.
mess you up
Maybe
at
he
all
wasn't there.
on our March meeting?
I think he was there.
Would that be okay?
She's already here.
Or we can look at, do we have the paperwork for it?
She says she doesn't have the resolution, but it was the end of December.
I think we just need to tell them, come back on March.
Because I asked Greg Sprint, and he had no idea about it.
She says-
I know. We don't have to-
Heather.
Yeah,
You were talking about the commissioner's ordinance, right?
Yeah. for the use of restricted opioids.
We're gonna do a business down here in the bottom.
Question.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the commissioners requested the money from the unrestricted opioid
We
fund.
did.
But I think I think we would qualify for restricted opioid.
She's asking it be, the auditor is asking it be appropriated from restricted, and that's why I asked to see the resolution.
I
That,
might have misheard.
that's okay.
I'd go with her.
Well,
I think that's what.
I
Do
don't
they-
think she
Yeah,
can
they
find the
were
resolution.
I thought
I
it
don't
said on the computer that said unrestricted is what it was.
I'm just looking at the ordinance that she emailed. I don't have her ordinance yet. Maybe she's changed it.
So is it better if I come back in March?
It'd be better if we take out restricted.
There's more money than restricted if it'll meet the requirement.
Yeah, I would have to, I can do a proposal and all that stuff and resolution. If you want it.
What do you think, Jennifer? You think it'd be better to come back in March and give you a chance?
We
to
could
get
do
the-
that. We can ask, our attorneys have switched for the commissioner side, and we can run this through our new attorney and see if that would possibly go through the restricted amount.
And I can send you, like, I worked out proposals and stuff for that for, if you want me to.
That would be amazing if, I'm sorry.
Sorry to make you wait. I apologize.
So we're gonna put that one
But
on March.
I think it would be a lot better if we could use it out of the restricted, because I know there's more money in that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we qualify by all those things that.
Okay.
So, just, I think if I do that, the steps would just be the manager, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yep. All right. Next up here is under old business. I put the employee raise that we had talked about in prior meetings. And I was looking for an email, but I know I talked about getting that Erwin Wagner Shealy to come in and do a job classification. And we initially talked about like the whole county, how long it would take. And it was around $50,000 to do that. I messaged them back and asked if there was a way to do this in like 2 phases, if we could split it up to offset some of these costs. And they said, yes, absolutely. They could include phase 1 CMOT and PAT positions, which I don't know what that is, but yeah, I don't know.
Construction maintenance.
But I said, look, you gotta break that down for me. I don't understand what you're talking about. So she said pretty much that's all of the administrative people along with clerical positions in the county. And so phase 1 would basically take courthouse employees and other people who fall into a clerical type position, and it would look to make sure we're in line with the Fair Labor Standard Act. All of the job descriptions are correct, and the people who are in those jobs are correct for those positions, as well as it would assign a point factor using a factor evaluation system by job category. So if you hire someone moving forward, we determine if they're exempt or non-exempt, like always, and then they would fall in this point factor system that would then tell you a range of what they could be paid or should be paid. And that would give us something to look at. The last time anything like this was done was in 2008. And their concern, of course, they're a lawyer firm, but what would happen if we don't do this? Possibly you hire people doing a similar job, pay a much different pay rate, and then the county could potentially have to go explain why. So it would protect us on that avenue. For that, if you broke it up and then the second phase would start January of 27. So that would change it to $33,520 with a letter of engagement. They could begin as early as March 1st, and it would be completed by summer at the latest. The phase 2 would begin January of 27, and it would be done by around June of 27. And you would have all of them done. That portion would be $22,340. If council approves to go that route, that's some options to get us an idea to be able to look at the different various departments that we have to oversee budgets and financials and say we're in line with where we should be. But rather than spending, just shy of $60,000 to look at every employee and take the vast majority of this year, you could cut it in half, do half now and half next year, and eliminate some of that money. So that's an option. And then Jennifer did advertise the percentage raises that we talked about, up to 3%, I believe is what was advertised. So that's on the table if anybody wants to talk about or discuss that or see where we're at? Or what kind of questions do you guys have? Yeah, there would be probably 30 plus additional appropriations to get funding correct on these.
That'd be percentage minus EMS, minus corrections, minus highway, right?
No, I don't think correct.
Well, community corrections said they can't afford any more raises. EMS doesn't want any more
But I mean,
raises.
their money comes out of their own funds anyway.
Yeah,
So
yes.
that's why I say
Yes,
they're not part of this.
correct.
Yeah.
Well, I did notice that some of them, like, prosecutor's office has elected officials. We can't give elected officials.
Yeah,
raises.
none of them would get it,
So
which
we have
there's
to be
only one.
careful. We're gonna have to go through.
There's,
these
I mean,
files.
each, just about each office, or the vast majority of them have an elected official that would have to stay the same for 26 because we cannot change those.
Right.
We wanna go through the-
But what's your all's feelings on that?
I'm okay with it. I've had my doubts about it, to be honest with you. A lot of money, but I do think we need probably some professional advice on how to go forward, so
Me too,
I'm good.
because I think the people they need something.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. I think they definitely need something, and we need to make sure that just because you work for one office doesn't mean you're paid drastically more than another. If you're doing a similar type job, I get that. And there's exceptions to every rule, we know that, but I think you need something to start with. And since 2008, I think if this study was done then, it's kind of gone different route with either through the years of doing percentage raises or, one year we gave one department money, like an hourly rate increase, and other people percentages. And I think it just got,
And what you're saying is, originally we started talking last month, it was just about how to pay people. Now we're talking about if their job description's correct, a whole lot of different issues besides pay.
right.
And pay goes into that.
And I think it would all go
I think that is
together.
probably needed.
I think it would all go together because it would be like the difference in, Jennifer hiring a bookkeeper or hiring a filing clerk. If we had those two different job descriptions that paid vastly different, but did the same or similar job, then that's where we would open ourselves up for problems.
How much money we talking about?
To do the first phase of that is 33,520.
So that's what we're asking for tonight.
That's what, if we want to enter into this letter of engagement, that's what it would take to get it started. And they would start March 1st,
The second phase would be,
22,340,
that's over 50,000.
which it was 50 something. I had to go back and look at her other email. But,
The reason I'm saying that, when it was brought up last month, it was a cap of 50,000, the way I understood it.
yeah, I think it was close to it. And this, again, she says it's estimated it should not exceed these amounts. I don't know that I could sit here and tell you 100% that's what it's going to be.
Well, it wouldn't make sense to do the first phase without doing the second phase.
I agree.
So that's what I'm asking, yes, both of them tonight or one of them?
I mean, I think definitely you would have to do both if you're going to do it, because if you do one, then you've done half of the county and the other half you haven't. This would also add in, our police officers, our EMS, our highway. It would take a look at all of them. Once, I think most of those are in the second phase, which are the POE and PLTC positions that she explained to me. But it would look more at the in-office people that are easier and quicker to get to in the first phase. So,
Coming out of the general fund?
yes.
Do you need a motion on this to say whether we're gonna do it or not? or-
If we want to do it, yeah, then I would have to have a motion that we're going to enter into this letter of engagement, fill it out and send it back to Irwin, Wagner, Shealy and do
I
this.
think that we do it. I think we're protecting ourselves by doing it.
The letter of engagement, does that mean, that's the same thing as voting for the money?
It's the same thing as we're entering into a contract to do it, pretty much,
In
is
that
what
case,
we're
we
doing.
have to pay the 55 or whatever.
But it's in two payments still.
I'm sorry.
It's in two payments.
Yeah, 2 payments. Or we can go back and do all of it, but I think given our money scenario, it's better to probably do it in 2 payments, 2 phases, not tie up as long, and we get our answers back on what we need in about 3.5 months' time. So,
I'll make a motion if that's what you want to pay.
And then
I'm not for paying for 1 or 2 phases, but that's,
all right. So Collins is making a motion to start this and pay phase 1, right?
Yes.
no sense.
Good. And then second by Lisaby. So all in favor of going into this contract? 6-0. All righty. So I'll print that off and then we'll get it filled out. It's on here also. And then do we want to hold off and see what they come back with? Do you guys want to do something with what Jennifer's advertised in the meantime? I mean, I don't know if,
I'm ready to vote on that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's already got numbers.
I mean, my number's 3%, if anybody wants to know what I'm rooting for.
I think that's what she made it for, wasn't
It was
it?
advertised.
Top 2, 3.
Jennifer, the additional appropriation ordinances, or what are those on? 3%?
3%, yes.
3%.
That's my motion.
do we know how many county employees we're talking about on that by chance? I mean, it's because we're not looking at EMS, we're not looking at corrections. Sorry, Kenley, I should have told you I was printing something. And then, so,
Corrections isn't here. I can do that.
yeah, they can come out because she told me they can't
And the sheriff-
enforce anymore. Sheriff's Department's doing the matrix thing. What about highway? Are they in this?
Yeah,
They're in this.
Corn.
Coroners,
Yeah.
which we just set their salary, so I mean,
40,
About health department, man.
assessor, auditor.
what about health department? Because
Yes, that's
she was
awesome help. There's some
pretty-
departments.
their understanding at budget time, we told them there wouldn't be any change because they got that 25 and was using a bunch of different. So I would vote they're out of this equation as well.
All of them already got something.
They did a big raise with that Health First Indiana, and then at budget time, her agreement was we won't do raises because she's using a bunch of different funds to keep the people she's got.
We agreed that was gonna be a 1-year thing, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I don't want,
That was when we was doing budgets and she came in and talked and we tried to dig around through all of
they
her
got how
budgets.
big a raise?
I want to say it was 10%.
Yeah. Okay.
So, because it
So
was
none of
their
the health
own.
department ones
Yeah.
need to go. Okay.
You guys good with that? No health, no highway, or no highway stays, I think, right?
Okay.
John, you want highway in there?
Yeah.
Your
'Cause
highway
they
department
only-
was
Let him-
saying
he
10.
wants to speak here.
You guys only got like $1, didn't you? Yeah.
If we're on base raises off of grants and so on, just curiosity, CCGMG grants saved the county millions, so do we base our raise off what we saved? That's just my curiosity.
And I think whenever you hear us say grants, it's because they're fully funded by grants that they bring in. So those personnel or salary paid out of those grants, and then the money brought in, they could change their salary and the grant was matching at the time. Mostly health department is how that became. Whenever that Health First Indiana came about, we changed a bunch of salaries to be able to meet what the state said we'll give you. And it was supposed to be like a 5-year thing. And then 1 year into it, they took it back. So this year, the health department agreed that we would keep the salaries the same, but she would dig into all of the funds that she had to be able to not have to lay people off.
Well, that'd be the same question on my end. I can dig into all the funds that I have too, to try to keep people there. I mean, I could go back and forth on that all day, but
Right.
I got to throw it out. I mean,
My only fear with, if we raise to whatever you would want, then you're going to come around here and talk about a wheel tax. I think people in this county is going to lose their lid saying, we just give a bunch of raises. Now you want to raise a tax. The
I get
reality
that.
and the
I get that,
transparency
but-
is the wheel tax isn't an option. The option is, do you want to get your CCMG that you get, or you don't, because you're gonna have a wheel tax to get in the different buckets.
I totally understand your point, but right now that's all make believe with the state because it's nothing's ever passed. It's
Right,
got
I
a
agree.
lot of channels to ever go through.
I agree.
So really, it's make believe at this
Well,
point.
in the same way with, Senate Bill 1, we heard all of last year that as soon as they go in, they're gonna make all these changes, and we're what, 3/4 of the way through legislative, and I ain't seen any big changes to it.
Will this company take in the county's effect too, as far as for operators?
Yeah.
I mean, with the survey they're gonna do, if they take you.
Yeah, they'll be in that.
And I'm all about that. The only fear I have on that, and it's like, I don't want to say, don't put the county highway in it, but at the end of the day, that company's going to go around. They're going to call neighboring counties and tell you exactly what they're getting paid and recommend the same thing.
Right.
You could probably pay me half of that and I'll do the same thing for you. I mean, for the highway department, figure out what that's going to be, give it to me. I'll call Jefferson County, Jackson County, Washington County, and let you know what they're making. And we'll, tell you, if there's more, we'll tell you. If it's less, we won't.
The only
And
benefit,
I'll take that money.
the only
I mean,
benefit,
it's kind of where I'm at.
the only
with it.
benefit to them is, say you hire somebody, you get a wage and labor complaint, goes to court. I can't say, well, I'm using Kevin Hall as my, representative here to be my expert witness, where if they screw up somebody's job description, they made it, they agreed to it, they sent it to us, and they're saying they're all right, they're all good. If we get a wage and labor filing, they would have to go represent us for it.
I totally get your point. Now, I know you guys have to do the best for the whole county. But
Right.
for me, it's a highway department.
And
So, I got to look at, the highway department has more money than the whole county, and that's not by accident. I mean, we've saved a lot of money with preservation work. The guys done a lot of preservation work on bridges. We're not a factory.
Right.
A lot of guys have stepped up. My guys as carpenters today, electricians today, operators today. And if you wasn't a carpenter, I told them, well, you're the best we got right now. So you are.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but anyway, I had to give my 2 cents for them.
Oh, absolutely.
Appreciate anything we do get. And, yeah,
How many people you got down there?
it's 15 including me.
15 of them. All right. What are we doing on this? We can either do a bunch of resolutions or
We got a bunch of additional appropriations.
ordinances or not.
Can we take a
Take a
break?
break? 5-minute break?
5-minute break.
All right, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Jennifer, did you pause us or whatever we got to do? Hey, did you mute us or pause us or whatever we got to do?
Man, you do. And it's a blessing.
Okay.
Okay, you're on.
We're on.
All right, we're back on here. Some people's missing, they'll catch up, but
So give me some ordinances.
we were talking about the employee pay raise thing. We sent that to Jennifer.
Yep, so
Whoops. Do we have, Jennifer, do we have a like number? I think Kinley gave it to us on break, but just while we're on the record of what it's going to cost, I guess. And I know it's hard to say a solid number because of the different funds that people come out of, but around about, I guess, what is this going to cost to change salaries up 3% for these offices or?
I think that number you're looking for is if it's 3%, right?
I'm sorry?
The number you're looking for if it's a 3%.
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
Magistrate superior, do the courts.
We're gonna change some things. We did not bring that worksheet with us.
Okay. So I can go through and, I mean, if you want to jot these down, I can go through like some of them as we go through here. But in like circuit court, there would be increase $7,163.66 for circuit court.
How much was that?
$7,163.66. That would change, I guess, senior, like most of the court reporters, looks like about $1,132 is what it would change. And then magistrate's office would be $1,132.40. Superior Court Magistrate, $1,132.40.
Okay.
Superior Court would change $3,496.58. And if you guys want to go with the 3%, then I would entertain a motion on ordinance 2026, 11, 12, and 13, which is the courts. It's circuit court, magistrate, and superior court. That's all out of general fund.
You need a motion on that, or?
They're all on separate additional appropriations, so I was just trying to lump them together best I can.
What do you need? I understand what you're asking, I think. I'm not sure how to quote it for you.
So if you're doing the 3% increase, then I would need a motion on an additional appropriation for circuit court, magistrate court, superior court. In the essence of time, I just tried to lump all of those together and be the courts for 11, 12, and
I'll
13.
make that motion to lump those three together.
All right, so John Lisby's made a motion for the courts, seconded by John Collins. All in favor of ordinance 11, 12, and 13, 6-0. Who's up next? What can we lump together next?
We can do for the program 14.
Okay, JR, for the county general, it'd be 72,464.66. The visitors commission would be $1,674.82. The assessor on the 1188 new reassessment is $1,053.78. Community correction would be $1,358.40.
They're not
Okay, you're gonna take that one out. Let's see. We've got $2,284.46 for cum cap. $3,018.29 for 1222 statewide 911. And I think it's $18,675.08 for MVH restricted, $1,356.58 for 1176 highway, and $2,107.56 for probation user fees.
Okay. All righty. So the next one up is number 14, and it is the 4D child support, $1,132.40. Motion for it.
I'll make a motion.
John Lisby's made a motion, second by James Ritchie. All in favor? 6-0.
My name on this one. On the back. Yeah.
The assessor's office, they're paid out of two different funds, so we'll do 15 and 16 for the assessor's office. A motion to accept in the amount of 12,0228 on one and 105378 on the other one.
Yes, you did.
Motion by Collins, second by Miller, all in favor?
Okay.
Oh, well, that's okay. You just keep doing that.
Auditor's office, total of $6,144.69 on ordinance 17. Motion by Collins, second by Lisenby. All in favor of that one? 6-0. You're fine. On number 18, the building commissioner would be a total of $1,242.15. Motion for him. Give me 1 second, I'll get to you. Who wants that one? Miller with the motion, Lisenby with the second. All in favor of that one? Give me just a second. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I just had a couple clarifying questions for
All
us. First would be on back pay for the raise. Is that going forward from today's date? Is that going to be backdated to the first? Or like in the court's case, we haven't had a raise in the past 3 years. Is that going to be backdated from start dates for some of us?
So I think it would start January 1st of 26 and
Okay.
paid forward.
Sounds good.
So, because I can't go back past that point.
Do we
Okay.
need to vote on that? To go
I
back
think,
to
do we all
January?
agree on January?
We did.
I mean, I think that's where we've been working from.
So we will need to resubmit payroll and things like that to the auditor's office to get,
I
Will you guys
believe
do
that,
pay?
I
That'd be a
believe
better-
that we can just make an adjustment in that.
okay.
If there's something that needs to be done differently, I will send you an email. I'll send a countywide email.
Okay.
But I believe that we can adjust that one in our office.
Okay. Um, Well, we want to thank you for the 3%. We do appreciate it. It's at least something. Going forward, how can we ask for more? Because,
So from here, we would wait until the phase one of that study is done, and then we would reevaluate, which will probably end around summer. So I would say as we start into budget session is whenever we'll look to change salaries again.
okay. Just so, like, to put in your mind, we also have the paperwork for surrounding counties and stuff. We're the lowest paid by more than $5 on the hour, starting. And like Chantel's been here almost 5 years now, so she's also one of the lowest paid, even as a senior court reporter, lower than even some of the basic court reporter ones. So are you going to take into consideration some of that with this study that's being done?
So that is part of what they look at. They look at tenure, they look at the total compensation package. So not only your hourly rate, but how much you're paid in compensation of insurances or whatever. It all comes together, and then it's put together on a factor system of points to say, maybe she's this point number and people below her are this point number. That's how it's looked at.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And as I learn more, I will tell you. But the last one they sent me a sample of was the one done in 2008. And honestly, the way they scanned it, it was kind of hard to see. And so I said, well, can you just put together either a new sample, or when you start doing this and you start getting it, can you feed me the information so I can distribute it to these guys and we can look over it and determine how we're going to go from there.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Next one up is the cemetery. It is $777.90. Motion for that one. Lisenby, all in favor, or second by Collins, all in favor on that. 6-0. Next up is the clerk's office, $7,692.04. Motion by Lisenby, second by Richie. All in favor of that one? 6-0. Next up is the county cooperative extension. It's the Purdue extension. Do we have anybody in that office yet? The Purdue office?
Shelley Pfaffenbach is
That's
our
right.
employee from the county, but the extension agent, Tom has not been replaced, but Megan Stone was.
Okay.
So
Who we met the lady from that they replaced Megan. Just Tom is the one that isn't, right? It's vacant.
I'm not certain he's totally gone yet. It's sometime this month, I think, that
Okay.
he will be his
I'll
last.
say I was
but
over
mean,
there one day, he was cleaning stuff out, and I was like,
Yeah.
see ya. He said, no, he's coming back. So anyway. All right, for the Purdue Extension Office, $1,053.78. Motion for that one. Collins, motion. Second by Miller. All in favor? Next one up is the coroner's office for the deputy coroner. Are we doing this or we just changed the rate, right? Are they getting another raise or are we keeping the rate we just agreed to?
I think the raise has got more than 3%.
Yeah.
Let's give it back.
You good with where we're at? Because we already did your paperwork, or do you want a 3% raise for somebody out there? All right, so we're canceling that.
Good
one.
answer. Good answer.
Why does she not have? Okay, 22.
On 2026-22, courts 40 referee, $694.51. Collins with the motion, second by Lisenby. All in favor of that one? 6-0. Custodian out of the 1,000 fund on number 23 is $1,419.60. Motion for that one. Collins, second Lisenby. All in favor? 6-0 on that.
That was 23, right? Was that 23?
Yeah. Next up is the 911 center. They're paid out of 3 different funds, so we're going to do 24, 25, and 26 on this. On 24, it's out of the general fund, $2,183.37. Out of the lit public safety, the 1170 fund, $9,879.20. And out of the 1222, which is statewide 911 fund, $4,019.19. Collins with a motion for all 3, second by Miller. All in favor of that? 6-0. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
What did you mark?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I ever have, ever. I don't think I ever have. Ever. I appreciate you, John.
All right, next up is the highway, and it is 27, 28, 29, and 30 for all of their funds, which is, we beat them to death tonight, but either 1173 or 1176 funds. The amounts are $1,856.40, $15,336.72, $2,964, $1,356.58 would take care of all the highway.
I'll make a motion, we put them all together.
Miller with the motion, Collins with the second. All in favor? 6-0 on all. Scotty gonna have right carpets on all the time we leave here.
Going as quick as I can.
Oh,
I'm a secretary. There you go.
Next up is the IT department, and it is for $2,284.46. Motion on that one. James Ritchie with the motion, John Miller with the second. All in favor? 6-0. This is another one it's planning and zoning. You guys willing to skip this? We just changed her salary to what she asked for tonight. So let's save number 32 and cancel out on that one.
She says the elected official on this one is the chief probation officer, and I thought the probation officers were paid by the state.
They're not paid by the state. The state decides
Or
how
they
much we
decided
have
they
to
how
pay
much they
for
make,
them.
yeah.
I wish
Hold
they
on,
were
we got
paid
more
by
for
the state,
34, hold on.
but there really isn't an elected official in probation.
I told her that, but she says that's just the way it's always, the line's always read for it.
It's the way it's always been.
I know, I told her next year, I hope to remind me to change it. Don't make it take it that way.
What is it? All right. Are we doing probation officers that are paid by the state? Question for the board
I don't
here.
think they're paid by the
Or no, I'm
state.
sorry,
They're
yeah,
set by the state.
their pay is set by the state. Are we going on top of that? Yep.
Why not?
Why not? All right.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
there's a good reason to say why not, but we've gone this far, so I think we should go ahead.
Probation on 32, 33, and 34, $13,258.71, $2,107.56, $1,959.63. Collins made a motion to accept all three. Second by John Lisby. All in favor? You guys in or out? In. You good, John? I guess you made the motion.
Yeah, I'm for it.
All right, 6-0.
I know which John you're talking to.
Yeah, I forget there's 100 of you on. I just throw out John, somebody bites.
At least we have a Scott now. We don't have
Yeah.
it's not a,
It ain't a J.
yeah. Okay.
Come on.
I got you.
I appreciate you. I'm just used to signing on attachments. I used to have to put check on it.
Prosecuting attorney has 35, 36, and 37 out of their various funds for $10,590.04, $2,370.58, and $1,132.40. Motion by John Lisby to accept all three as read. Second by John Collins. All in favor? 6-0. 37 is 1,132.40. Or
What's the
number.
last number?
Yeah, 37.
37, okay. So I'm on 38.
Let me start checking your box for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
John Miller's been doing it down here for you.
I got you.
Or me, one of the two. Sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't.
Richie won't do his, hell, here.
Colin's ready to fire James Ritchie.
I'm telling you. I'm gonna be honest with you, there's probably hundreds of them that's already been through
Okay, so
months.
where we at? 30.
Was it give official training?
38 is public defender. And I will tell you, we can do this, but I don't know that he will accept it. So it's up to you guys, but every time at budget that I've set through, he always says, no, he won't take the county stipend and he don't want any increase to his pay. But the chief public defender out of the public defender's office
I mean, we lay that one on the table and rest it for now. It's
asking.
asking for sure.
All right,
You gonna table it, or you want to read it?
we'll table it.
You need a motion.
So a motion by Collins to table ordinance 2026-38, second by Elizabeth. All in favor of that? 6-0. Send that one. I'll reach out to him and ask him, but usually he says he doesn't want any of that stuff. Recorder's office, $1,185.37 on number 39. Collins has made the motion for that. Second by John Miller. All in favor? 6-0. More we got.
Not many. Almost there.
Soil and water, out of the general fund, $1,053.78.
They already gave her a raise.
That's what I thought. Do you want to do this one or you want to hold it?
Let's hold it, so let's do it.
Motion to table number 40,
What is it now?
the soil and water. He's going to check on it.
They had already given her a raise.
So Collins just made a motion to table this one, second by who? Miller. All in favor of tabling it? 6-0, that one's tabled. Number 41 for the treasurer's office, two individuals out of the general fund, $2,256.07. Motion by James Ritchie, second by John Miller. They're throwing a wrench in you down here, Jennifer. All in favor of that one? 6-0. I don't know. See why we do this at budget
One
time?
more.
Veterans Affairs
After
out of the
this one.
1,000 series of $1,243.79. Motion by Miller, second by Elizabeth. All in favor? 6-0. One more.
That's it.
This is it. This is the one you were looking for. Visitors Commission, $1,674.82. I guess the question for this, should this be presented to them or their board or?
They pay for it.
They do pay for it. Do we want to table this and talk to it?
Well, I think we could vote on it, and then they have to do what they want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All you're doing
So
is appropriating.
what I heard is John Lisby said he just made a motion for accepting it, second by John Collins. All in favor of that? 6-0. All right, I think that's the last one of those.
Last one of that, Jennifer. And there were a bunch of others that I don't have on. There's a circuit court public, there's a bunch in the email that you emailed that I don't have on the agenda. Do you still have those left, or Kenley? Is there anything else that they need to address? Because I still have papers, but.
I just had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I had
No,
actually
there was-
3.
All right.
So you talked about the classifying of the jobs and you kept saying administrative and clerical. Do you know whenever they go to evaluate us, are they going to put us on certain categories? Like you said, clerical, you kept kind of directing over here, but our job and the clerk's job is nowhere near the same. We're not on the same level. So I didn't know if you knew.
I don't know exactly how that will work. It'll be up to them whenever they come down. And obviously everything they send is it's a recommendation.
Mhm.
It would be
And they're experienced
looked
in
at us,
government. They
but yeah.
understand, they
Right.
categorize them in the
Okay,
correct
I was just, because you just said very brief what,
And
one or
because
the
honestly,
other.
I don't know exactly what they look at. I
Right.
just know they come in, they talk to each department head and
Okay.
do a classification system.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
So.
And then also, so whenever they do those evaluations and you get those back, is that a guaranteed rate or is that like a suggestion?
I mean, nothing's a guarantee in this world,
True.
other than the moment we breathe here, but that is a suggestion to us, a recommendation given to us, and we will try our best to work towards it. But I mean, we ultimately have to look at the money here and
Right.
figure out what we can do. But it may be the difference of say your department head asked for an additional employee, well, we could say, can't do that. We can give, we're going here, but that's kind of what we're going to have to look at.
Okay.
If whatever she said earlier, other counties, you're $5 less. I can tell you right now that the option of taking somebody $5 an hour, a whole group of people, is probably not going to happen the first year out.
Right.
Maybe you could increase it or come up with a plan to get us there, but to take everybody in the county $5 on the hour is just not feasible.
And it
We
may
don't
not,
have the money
everybody
to do
may
that.
not be like as, what would you call it, neglected as their wages. Cause I know Floyd County makes 60,000 as a court reporter. I'm making 41. And they're making 37. That's almost double.
And I
It's a big
understand that,
difference.
but you could have that argument in anything.
Right,
And,
right.
Like, there's a reason people drive south to make more money. There's
Right.
more money down there. A sheriff's deputy makes way more money in Clark and Floyd County than they ever will up here. But also, our sheriff's deputies make more than Perry County or, small counties. So to say we're going to ever compare to Clark or Floyd County is not feasible.
Right. I agree there.
We don't have the revenue for that.
I agree. So then there was one more thing. So you guys had budgeted, I guess, for the additional for like community corrections and the others. So you had that money set aside or no? I'm just
What do
asking
you mean?
because we were seeing if we could spread it out between the departments that are going to get
So you
and
can't-
then extra.
So that's where it gets real confusing is like community corrections brings their own funding in from either
Right.
grants or the people that they put on their various programs. EMS brings their own money in from their runs that they make. So you can't take EMS funds and put them in community corrections. I can't take community corrections
Right.
funds, put them in yours. I can't even pay you all from the highway department. Much like that. It either is paid out of a general fund or like all of you all are paid out of the general. That's where you
Yeah.
have to be paid from, which primarily comes from property taxes. There's not a lot of grants that go in the general fund, but as you can see in any quick Google search, that's not changed much in this county in a long, long time.
So is there any that are paid out of the general fund and are not getting it?
No.
Yeah, we don't know if we don't ask.
Yeah,
So,
no, there's not. Because
but-
like health department, they are funded out of various grants and money that they actually this year, a lot of them that they've had left over from previous years.
and yeah, we don't get that as an option or an
There's
opportunity.
no way to take their money and give it to anybody else.
I had one more question, and you may not be able to answer it, but since we were 3 years without a raise, even a cost of living, I just kind of am curious how we got left in the dark as to, isn't it just like you tell us to budget for a certain amount of a raise, and we usually get fat zeros when others get approved for a whole dollar or more.
I think I only remember 1 year of an absolute zero. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, White, you said up here, we did a percentage our first year. It was preset when we came in. Our year that we wrote the budget, our first year was 24. I think it was 5%. And then in 25, we were hit with a bunch of different things. And I think that one was the only zero that I recall since I've been here.
I don't think I've got a raise since I started in 21. Maybe I got one in
check-
22.
Can
And then
you check that for me, Jennifer?
And then I
Check
think
that.
I did a job title position switch, so I got a raise from that. But other than that, I haven't got one since 23.
We'll check, but
We'll check.
I was just curious why.
Yeah.
Some departments like 3 or 4 got it, and then the others were just left to fend for themselves,
I
basically.
understand that.
Yeah, I know you probably couldn't answer it off the top of your head.
And I mean, I will try if I know the answer, but the only year that I remember most of the general fund, and I've fought, and you've heard me sit here and say time and time again, was 25. A lot of our employees, the vast majority that work in the courthouse, didn't get raises.
Yeah. All right, thanks.
All righty. Wayne, you had something for radios, didn't you? Do you have something for radios or something?
Wait, yeah, I think,
What do you need to do on that? Do we have the paperwork on that, Jennifer?
No, I don't. I had it from the commissioners. I did not. Oh, and I did not bring it tonight. I missed
All right.
that.
Okay. Is it something? I mean, I guess what do we need to do on that? Because when do you have to pay them, or are they paid for? This is a reimbursement. What is this? This is a reimbursement to you, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah, we're gonna purchase them, and then he's gonna reimburse us back. That was something they needed to determine what fund you guys want to take it out of, because he's gonna write a check back to Scott County.
Okay.
So wherever you decide.
Well, I draft, did they sign the interlocal
They
agreement that I
did.
drafted?
They did.
It can't be effective until it comes before the council and has a reading
To do that.
and votes on it,
interlocal.
and you guys, I mean, they approve it and they sign off on it, but the second part of any interlocal is it has to come before the council and also be voted on and signed.
So the commissioners signed that interlocal,
They did.
And now our
and now we
step
do,
is-
and then we need to advertise for that
That's what I'm
money,
thinking. We'll need to find out where we want to advertise it.
which I guess it would vary honestly, because we wouldn't really necessarily advertise if we enter into the interlocal and he pays it. There's nothing to advertise for additional because he's gonna pay her back. So we don't need to advertise. We just need to get the interlocal in front of us, which is gonna be,
It's gonna be up to the sheriff to say which funds he's gonna pay
Yeah.
those radios out of, and then it has to go
Which-
back in that fund.
yeah, I mean, it'd be whichever you
She's
want.
already sent it over. Well, she's already sent it over when it needed to come out of.
Where are we taking it out?
That's fine. Nothing can move anywhere until the interlocal comes before the council. The council approves it and signs off on it.
So what's the plan to, where are we
Interlocals have to
taking it out of?
I don't have one. That's what,
Oh, all right.
I'm not sure.
I thought he just said you did. That's why I was asking. Okay. All right. Well, I guess the first step is get the
We get that agreement by
interlocal
March.
in
No,
front
we
of
can have it
us.
by March. It's here. I just didn't think to bring it tonight.
All right. And we'll do it March, I guess, meeting. So,
Because I gave it to you.
yeah, she drafted it
I
up.
drafted what needed to be drafted this next day, and I sent it to the commissioners who didn't have an attorney. I think now they have an attorney. My understanding is they voted on their part.
They did.
Every interlocal has to start with the commissioners. The commissioners have to approve it and sign it, and then the council, it has to come to this body for approval and signature. What she's saying is the commissioners did their part. She forgot to bring it tonight for my client to do their part. So we don't have it before us to vote on, to sign on it.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. Well, see you in March. You're up again.
Sorry. Yep. So it's just not sitting right with us. It feels like you're kind of telling us we're kind of being punished a little bit for wanting to stay here, work in our communities, not drive south, to make that better pay. We're not asking for $60,000 a year. We're not asking $5 an hour right now on the hour. We're asking to at least put us within a fighting chance of being able to afford to still raise our families here. We love the community. You know, everybody that's gotten raises, they do deserve them. But you know what? We need to be put in that same category. And we're mad.
I get that, but there's only so much money in the pot. And the reason they compared to Floyd County, and I said that we will never be able to be there, is just simply because the revenue in this county isn't here.
However, we
don't
do
have
need to make it comparable. No, we're not Floyd County.
I get it.
We don't get the same as them. However, we're still not paid appropriately for the community that we're in.
But actually, we are. If you look at median income in this county is like $45,300 something based on the last census, which is a two-person household working. So if you're making $40,000, technically,
And we're
you
not.
are. You're making
We're not making
$38,000.
$40,000.
38.
I will tell you right now, I bring home $1,000 every 2 weeks.
Well, what people bring home, I can't control, but I can control the salary that you're paid, and it's right around $38,000 is what you're paid.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So I know that the job thing that you're wanting to do, that's going to cost $50,000. We are asking for pennies compared to $50,000. Is it really worth doing that to not even guarantee us to get that money? Like, you're spending $50,000 to have our jobs categorized, right? Why not just give us a raise?
And I think I mean, I agree with you, but how do I sit here and say, okay, your department for whatever you work for gets $3 an hour. And then the next department next week comes in here and they want $3, $4, $5 an hour.
Do you see anyone else here?
I didn't see
We-
anybody here last year. But you see what I'm
We're
saying?
here
Like,
now.
but I have to look at the overall big picture of this whole county and every person, including me, who pays taxes here. And I'm trying my absolute best to keep the taxes as low as possible so people want to move here, to increase our revenue, to buy the houses that are being built, to get us up to where we can afford to be here. But to do it overnight isn't going to happen. There's no way.
I'm not asking for it overnight. I simply just want to put the thought in your mind to consider spending $50,000 on something when we're asking for pennies compared to that. I just want you to think about it. Okay, we can.
Well, I'll tell you, I've stayed up many, many nights thinking about it, and it's bothered me a whole lot that, I mean, how do you classify a job or look at a job and say, because you go to this office down this hall, you make this much money, because you go to this office down here, because everybody across the board is going to say, well, I make more than what you all used the example earlier, the clerk downstairs, because you do much different. Like everybody, I guarantee you their staff would come in here and say the same thing, that they process more papers and they do more things. I get it. I totally do. And for me, the vote isn't easy, but I have to have something to be able to say, this is a goal. This is a stair-step plan to get there, and make sure that across the board, we're hiring people at the right classifications. We're putting them in the right jobs that they need to be. We're taking care of the ones who have been here. This is something that's gone on for a long time. I mean, I think throughout the rest of this year, the next thing that I intend to tackle is the absolute slap in the face that once you've been employed here for 5 years, we hand you a check for $600, tax the living crap out of it, and you walk home with $423 something, I think. I think that's ridiculous.
But you also said a month ago that it would be a smack in the face to give us 64 cents. And it is, like, we're feeling it. It's a raise. Yeah, that's great. However, we haven't had one.
I agree with
And
you.
you're telling us to go to another county and work.
I didn't tell you that. I told you, if you want to compare to Floyd County, there is no way Scott
You
County
said
is going to
other
compare to Floyd
counties
County.
get more, so we
I
can
told
go
the same
there.
thing to the sheriff. I'll tell the same thing to anybody that walks in here. Our highway guys do not make what Floyd County and Clark County highway make. I can promise you that.
I get that, but we don't
I
even come
can't do that.
close.
I can't fix it tonight. I can't. I don't have the revenue here to do that. I can take little bites of this big cake and get there maybe, but to change it immediately, there is no possible way unless you want to max taxes out, tell everybody in this county they're going to pay absolute crazy taxes because we have to pay what has been the exact same for the last 30 years of a population in Scott County. And that is documented. Anybody can go look that up. Anyone can look at, we haven't changed the amount of people who live here who pay into our tax revenue in close to our lifetimes.
Do you care that people come and sit here?
150%. Yes, I do. If I didn't, I wouldn't go spend 2 or 3 hours of my day off in the courthouse trying to work with people in the courts to say, hey, how long have you been here? What are you getting paid? How long have you been here? What have you been getting paid?
People who weren't here got the same raise that we did. They're not here. We are.
I agree with you. Percentage raises are not my choice. Never have been.
Can I say something?
Yes.
There's 9 people behind that counter right that I consider friends of mine. Every one of them. If you see me just have to fight my ass off with them, I'm like.
Yeah, and they gave you the money.
$12,000 a year.
And they gave
And
you the
I've been
money.
working
So we're
80
fighting for
100 hours
us.
a week since October the 18th.
Okay, so we're fighting for us. You fought for you and you got your money.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we're fighting for us.
But, well, don't sit there and act like they don't care about it.
I promise you, we lose a lot of sleep at night.
Well, he even said it's a smack in the face to give us 64 cents an hour.
I've been on the other side of that.
what
No, I
they're
said
doing.
600. The longevity is a smack in the face is what my statement is. I think
No,
our
you said
longevity program in
That
this
giving
county.
us 64 cents an hour was a smack in the face.
No, the only
Yeah,
time
you did at the last meeting we were at.
The last meeting, I thought you meant tonight. I'm like,
No.
wait a minute. The only smack in the face I said is our longevity program.
No, at the last meeting we came to.
If you take $60,000 to do that study and divide it by, what, we got 200 employees, what is it, 15 cents an hour?
Probably. 2,080 hours.
But other
something
employees
like
are
that.
also getting raises and we're not.
Probably not even that, probably more like that's just off the top of my head.
I think we're more frustrated because I feel like we come here and like voice what we're trying to fix and figure out for us, but we get a lot of resistance. And there's people in here that haven't even been to a meeting in 2 years, and they get whatever they want whenever they request it. So I think that's where a lot of our frustration comes
I
from.
don't even think they requested it, if that's what you're talking about. The
Even
motion was made by Councilman Elizabeth to do a 3% raise across the board. We did eliminate some people who had gotten other raises, had entered into other programs. It's very, very hard to manage all different avenues of this county. And there's no such thing as fair. A friend of ours says if you want fair, go there and get you a hot dog. But that doesn't exist. So I do appreciate more than you can imagine being here, voicing your opinion, talking about it. And it does sit a lot with me and I think everybody on this board. But there's no quick fix for this. We didn't get here
I
quickly.
understand.
There is no quick fix to make it.
I understand
way.
that. It is a smack in the face, I guess, when we're doing our budgets for the following year and we're told to appropriate for the 10% raise and we get 0,
And-
or we get a 1.5.
And I will
You know?
tell you that was brought to my attention during all of this, and I will do different this year.
It's just, yeah, it gets
The
everybody's-
reason for the 10% is when you do a budget, your department head or he's a department head. They have to put the maximum amount, and then the auditor has to advertise that amount. That is the ceiling that you can have. So that's why they say 10% and you can work down. Ultimately, I mean, you can ask the sheriff. Me and him have a history. We don't always see eye to eye, but I promise you, he has put 10% every time and never got full 10% across the board on that budget.
Well, that's
Ever.
why the matrix, that's the reason why I disagree with John, because with the matrix, that's what you say you're gonna do, what you're working on, is what you said, correct?
Right.
So that will help fix it, but it's not gonna help from there.
Right.
It's not building.
And I do too. I truly do. But I think we're gonna have to take small pieces of this pie unless somebody has some magic millions of dollars bucket sitting around that I don't know about. But
We're
we just don't
trying to
have
get,
it.
because the cost of living's going up and
I
we're
get it.
not
I
making
get
it.
it. Trust me, I work for
We're
one of the biggest
struggling.
municipalities in southern Indiana, and I can promise you, I didn't even get as big of a raise as you did tonight.
Well, this is like your part-time job, right? You have a full-time job?
I do. My
right?
full-time
So
job did not give me no 3%.
We don't even get 12,000 or whatever you get as our part-time. None of us have part-time jobs because we got little kids at home and we got sports and all
I
those
get
things.
it. Trust me.
So
I got 4 kids.
it just
The
goes
guy that
on.
lives next to me has a bunch of kids. There's kids on everywhere around here.
See.
We all get it. I truly do. But to tell you that I could come in here and just wave a magic wand and fix it isn't going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lie to you and I don't want to blow smoke up anybody, but I can tell you that I'm willing to take a bite of this pie a little at a time and figure out how to fix it. I'm willing to make hard decisions. Whenever department heads come and ask for more people, I'm willing to tell them no because we don't pay ours enough. I'm willing to tell judges no to people. I've done that. I've argued with them over buying something as simple as law books that they need to do their job. I've sat and literally argued just about as bad as I did with the coroner tonight. That office, every single person sitting behind this desk knows it needs exactly what he asked for, if not more, and has needed it for a long time. The fact is, that comes out of the general fund where your money comes from. And if I give him more money, you don't get more money. Those are the kind of decisions you have to make sitting right here.
And that's why I didn't run for.
And it's
All right.
not always fun. I mean, there's time, like, I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to argue with the sheriff. I don't. But there's not over money. I mean, we can find other things, but like, there's times that he truly needs something. And I'm like, we just can't do it, or I can't do it that way. And that's what sucks. It really does. I mean,
They should probably be telling this, I mean, the same thing you're saying now, probably should be telling this company comes in when you say.
Yeah,
and
I
They
agree.
they may come back with something.
So you said there was a second part that was, you were gonna do in January of 27?
it's the other, so it would be like all of the police officers, EMS, I think the highways in that. It's we're just breaking the county up to look at
So will you
different
wait for
groups.
all of that?
No, no, we'll know this by the summer. So going into budget, you can look at, basically it's who's paid out of general fund, who's paid out of like lit special purpose and lit public safety, highway funds, things like that. We're trying to
And-
break it down to that.
When they talk to the head department, are they gonna talk to like our head court reporter, not our?
That is entirely up to your department head. I can't tell them to come in and talk to any of his deputies without his approval. I can't tell them to
Well, I
come
mean,
talk
like
to
his
his.
deputies would probably know more about their jobs than he does on day to day.
I mean, look, I just said I'm not
I
trying to
know,
argue.
I know,
with you.
but I'm just saying.
I don't
like,
know. I don't, it's totally up to the
People come in,
department
you
head.
ought to tell them you want to talk to them.
I mean, if Jennifer's a department head of the auditor's office, they come in there and want to talk to her employees, it's totally up to her whether she lets them or not. I can't force her. I can't make her. None of them work for me.
We just want to get that out in the air and get it off
I
our
get it.
chest. Appreciate
I
everybody's
appreciate your
time.
passion
Yes.
for it. I really do. And I
Everything.
know
We
that it
appreciate
hits
the
home.
raise, we do.
We're
Just
we're
trying to
just
fight
frustrated.
for ourselves and
I don't
we
begrudge
have
you at all
families,
for that.
so.
I don't begrudge you at all for that. And I appreciate it. And know that we're fighting to do it. I just need a little time.
Thank you. If you're not, we'll see you the next one.
Anybody got anything else? Do we got anything else?
Good for them.
Last time. Motion.
Here's the
Close.
salary order. Are
Make
you
a
saying
motion
we've
to
got
close.
extra? No. Oh,
Well,
you
you
can
got-
do the salary ordinance. Do that next. We've got other things you got to do.
Go ahead, Marcel. I'm listening.
All right.
You got to scream or go to the podium.
You guys been here a long time.
John, you want to send that on down here? I'll start my process on it. I ain't paying you no more money.
Now, I just got something on my mind. You can quote me if I'm wrong on these numbers, what I've got. I just had a question. I'll try to be quick. Okay, Brian presented the financial report this year. $24,176.94. Okay, last year, when it was presented, we had $21,211,000. I mean, $21,211,217.68. All right, so you know what we went through with the sheriff, and supposedly there's $130,000 spent in legal fees. Okay, then on this bond, I heard there was like 200,000 on it. Total.
Legal fees?
Yes, to get it all processed.
Have we
And,
even paid those yet, Jennifer?
and our attorney here, the county council, she was supposed to have gotten $24,275, if that's
I haven't
correct.
gotten anything.
You didn't get anything for
No,
doing
but
that?
My contract has a 1/2 of 1% fee. It's pretty usual for council attorneys to work on bonds.
So for the bond, you didn't get no extra.
Not yet.
I don't think anybody
It's
has.
not been
No,
paid
it's
yet.
not been paid.
So when it's paid, though, is that what you're supposed to get paid then, the 24?
1/2 of 1%, yes.
So you'd be around
But
24,000.
I would think I would probably be the less out of all the attorneys, but I think I've had the least except
Oh,
for the
yeah.
bank's attorney. Yeah.
Okay, and also, by going through a lot of these meetings, like I said, you know, it was all about Jerry Gooden, who was probably gonna have to file bankruptcy, because the county was going in the red. So the end of this year, if I'm correct, we ended up with $1,197,859.45, which that's not red, that's positive, correct?
Is that what we have? I don't know. I have no idea.
Is that correct, Jennifer?
I don't have the exact number on that one yet. We haven't closed out the books yet, but I would guess it's real close. to
I've
that.
never been given numbers yet of 25. that are
Okay, so the
accurate.
bond, so what I was wanting to know, was the bond really needed? If so, why?
So I think, yes, it was needed because there was a depletion of some accounts that are used to fund our sheriff's office. That will be used to offset those costs to keep that standard, or I guess, in the black, if you will, for the 26, 27, 28 year.
Okay, so moving forward then, I know we had some discrepancies tonight with Sheriff Gooden. Okay, that $130,000 that we spent on legal fees. Now, can we try to look at it differently this year? If you do have an issue with Jerry,
We're trying.
try to
I'm-
speak, because I mean, these girls, 130,000, I feel for them.
I do too.
That would have been very good for them, you know.
The vast
Probably a
majority of
decent
that.
raise, if you
do
could
understand the
coordinate it
vast
to make it
majority
happen.
of that was his attorneys, right?
Pardon me?
You do understand the vast majority of that was his attorneys, right? That we have to pay for.
Right, but we had to pay it, correct, out of the county?
Correct.
Exactly.
Right. But I'm just saying, it sort of makes me sad seeing what those girls, I mean, I know they want to raise. I
do
know
too.
you guys maybe can or can't. But to me versus what we had at the beginning of last year versus this year, to me, that bond wasn't needed. But maybe
Yeah.
you guys see something
I
different.
don't know which account you're talking about specifically with the 20 million. I will have to ask Ryan whenever he's back in town, but I do know that there's 5 major bank accounts this county runs on. He sees the huge amounts of numbers that are there, but that doesn't equate to what's been appropriated out of those accounts that her office sees. So the checks and balances is between the auditor and the treasurer. So you may have a huge amount of money, but then the vast majority of that's used over the year. It depletes down and then it doesn't come back until people pay property taxes to come back in the next year.
Right, I understand
So to look at a bank account and just, it isn't like being at home and pulling up your checking account and seeing what's in there, because there's a vast majority of things that come out of that account. So I don't know to say yes or no. And I've not been given any numbers from the actual closing of 25s. I don't think we're there yet
We're not there yet.
to say this is where we ended.
Okay, because as I said, these two were from him. I mean, the 2026 and the 25. Those both came from him. So.
Yeah. And I don't know what he looks at or how
I
those
guess at the
numbers
end of the
equate.
year, if we end up with quite a bit of money, I guess we'll see if it was needed or not possibly, but, appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcelo.
What do you got on this, Jennifer? Is
Okay.
this the updated?
That's the updated salary ordinance. It's marked through who got raises, who did not.
Okay.
You can sign that and we'll have at least a copy. It's not a clean copy. We will make that cleaner for the next meeting.
All right.
I think we still have, we can still, I believe, advertise that. And there was a change that the clerk needed made. So we'll be bringing the salary ordinance back to you in March with a change there. So we'll have to re-advertise it again.
What does she need to change?
We just table this and Jennifer.
I think you have to have it to pay people.
Well,
Right.
we'd have to have it, or because we could do the raise I believe we can get through the raise and get it on the next pay period, which would be next week, not this Friday, but next Friday. But if we don't sign the salary ordinance, we can't do that.
All right. Motion to accept this amended salary ordinance.
I second.
Motion by Collins, second by Miller. All in favor of that? 6-0. You got anything else?
Yes, I have an encumbrance. We had, it's been several months ago. We put aside $18,305, I believe it was, for Scottsburg Glass to replace the windows around the top of the courthouse. That didn't take place until in January. So we pulled that, the money's there. However, there was kind of a scheduling error or something. They stopped. There was an extra $800 because they had to keep the lift another day or two. So out of Eric's budget, there's $18,305 in his 35001, which is repair and building maintenance. And he also has in his 35002, which is repairs and maintenance, he has $526.11. That equals $18,831. And the bill turned out to be $18,805. So we're within $25. It's $25 over to cover it. But we can pull both of those and pay that Scottsburg Glass that was appropriated last year and
Okay.
completed around the 20th of January.
And then we're just going to do an encumbrance for March to bring it back whole. Is that what you're saying? Or is
Well, the money was left in the budget at the end of 2025.
how's that
Now,
possible?
because the work was not done.
It means it reverted. Is this, what fund is that in?
This is out of the general fund.
So it reverted back to the
It
general
can
fund.
revert back. So if you need me to, we can do that. But I was gonna say, if we just pull that forward, we can.
But the work wasn't completed.
It was not completed until January.
I think you'd have to appropriate
Okay.
that. I don't think you
I
can
don't- you
encumber
can't
that because it
pull that.
reverted. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we had that. And then we've got the minutes. You can sign those. And then we've also got where John White is the appointment to the public library. Darlene sent over 2 forms that I need JR and John to sign.
All right.
One goes back to her and one goes to me.
So a motion for me to sign for him to be the library board trustee.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Miller, second by Collins. All in favor of that, signing that paperwork, 6-0.
Approve the minutes.
Collins made a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I second.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Second by Miller. All in favor? Good.
I move we adjourn.
I got
Wait,
one
wait,
more.
hold on. Yeah.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
I got a board appointment as well. When we did appointments at last meeting, it was brought to my attention, on my own attention, that I actually was appointed to a board that I already serve on as fire chief. So I was contacted by an individual that worked for and also served on the board that I'm doubled up on, which is emergency management. And that was Brittany Ward. So if somebody would want to nominate and or whatever procedures we need to go to do that.
So you're
Would be
requesting to put
Civil defense.
Brittany Ward on the EMA board. Anybody want
I
to?
make that motion.
Motion by Miller, second by Collins. All in favor of that?
And for the record, that's not a paid board.
Trust me, I know it's not.
Yeah, no, it's just, yeah, it is not paid.
Will you-
Correct, it
Will
is
you
not paid.
log on that? Will you log 5 yay, 1 abstain, and that would be me.
Who made the motion?
Motion by Miller, second by Collins. 5-4, 1 abstain.
Well, I was going to pass out board appointment sheets to you, but we'll do that next month now too.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
Is that it?
I've
You
got one more thing. On the new advertisements now, we don't put the additional appropriations in the newspaper like we did.
Right.
It goes to Gateway. Anybody can look up. All they have to do is go to budget, BUDGET, notices.in.gov. And there's no dot between budget and notices, and it's .in.gov. That will show up at least 10 days before the meeting, what's there. So anybody can look at that and see what's been advertised for the meeting.
So are you still gonna at least send me an email with whatever, so we can be in communication for an agenda?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean,
I just want to make sure, that way we don't have a bunch of stuff that's going here and there. Is that all you had, Jennifer?
I think that's all I've got, yeah.
The only other thing I have is, if you guys will take one of these papers and look at it, we can do it in March, but, coming out with a form that would be like a department head signed a request for a line transfer and additional appropriation just for our bookkeeping and records to say, like, if, like tonight, Chris Owens couldn't be here, so he sent his number 2, he could sign this, so they come in here, kind of get us out of the conflict we had last meeting where somebody came and requested to add an additional appropriation to a judge's budget that she didn't know anything about, and she wasn't happy about. So I think it would be a good idea moving forward, but we can talk about it, vote on it in March. If you guys just take a look at it, if you want to make changes, whatever you all think, we can do that. But just an idea to keep us more compliant.
That's just something to take a look at. Here we go, Mr. Jennifer.
That's all I got.
Move we adjourn.
Collins with a motion to
I
adjourn, second by Miller.
Shut us off.
All in favor, 6-0. Where do I need to sign on this thing?
Another successful.
Is it this?